Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the show. Let me get the cap of wisdom on. I already feel more enlightened and filled with more knowledge instantaneously. Oh, man. The cap of wisdom. No doubt about that.
At some point in your life, and foot ulcers, when you have diabetes, can lead to severe health consequences.
Oh, man. Hey, has anyone seen Patriot Purge on Fox Nation? Give me a 1 if you've seen episode 1 of Patriot Purge on Fox Nation, because I am going to talk about that in a little bit.
Little or no cost, you can receive your very own pair of therapeutic shoes made specially.
1 if you have seen Patriot Purge. 2 if not. Good. Some people have seen it. That's awesome. I'm going to talk about that a little later. Good. I'm glad I'm not alone. I thought it was amazing, and really, I did a bit of a review last night on the podcast, but, well, more than a bit of a review, talked about it quite a bit. I thought it brought up things about that I had never thought of in that particular way. Tucker Carlson did all right on that, I think. Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. Oh, yeah, this is the one. This is the hat I always tell people that twice I've seen Trump, and he has seen this hat with his own eyes. Last time I saw Trump, I was like 5 feet away from him, and it was right before the inauguration. Looked right at me with this hat on. So this is, I've got a lot of Trump hats. Oh, man, do I have a lot of Trump hats. But this one, this is the one the president has seen twice with his own eyes. So this is the MAGA hat of wisdom, I call it. I'm waiting for Cobra Kai season. Is it going to be 3 or 4? I think this is going to be 4. Coming up. I got to watch Karate Kid Part 3 to get caught up. Oops, sorry, guys. To get caught up on the new season of Cobra Kai before it premieres.
You are listening to South Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll free, dial 1-888-COCAINE 1. That's 1-888-COCAINE 1. And now, here's
Hey guys, welcome. Oh man, it is raining in sunny South Florida this morning. Had to drive extra slow on the way into the radio station this morning because it was raining pretty hard where I was coming from. Welcome everyone. And I'm getting weird sounds in my headsets. What is going on? Maybe I just have the headsets turned up too high, or maybe I have the I'm missing my hold on guys. I am missing my wind guard. It's going to be a little noisy. Hold on as I put this back on. There we go. I was missing the guard on my microphone. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the program. It is Tuesday morning, November 2nd, 2021. My name is Brian Craig, and you are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. And, of course, this is the MAGA show of record. This is the most pro-Donald Trump radio show anywhere on the planet Earth. I promise you that. You will never hear me, and I say this with pride, you will never hear me disagree nor criticize President Trump. He has too many people criticizing him, always has. He certainly doesn't need me doing it. Not that he has done or said anything that I would disagree with, because I can't think of anything, but I will never disagree with nor criticize President Trump. And people give me such a hard time about that. Oh, you'll have no credibility if you do that. Oh, please, give me a break. No criticism of President Trump from me. I can't think of anything I'd criticize even if I wanted to, because he is the perfect president. And man, oh man, do we got a lot to talk about today. I'm going to talk about, of course, Terry McAuliffe, Glenn Youngkin, Virginia. They're going to talk about that quite a bit today. We're going to start with that. And coming up, I'm going to talk about Patriot Purge which is Tucker Carlson's new 3-part documentary series on Fox Nation. I got Fox Nation just to see Patriot Purge. Part 1 I saw yesterday. I'm going to talk about that coming up. It is spectacular, and it must be discussed. And those of you out there that do not have Fox Nation, it is worth getting just so you can watch Patriot Purge. Cancel it right after. Part 2, I'm assuming will be up there today. At least I hope it will, because Part 1 was very, very good. And it's less than 30 minutes an episode. So we'll get into that coming up and a whole bunch more. All right, now, Terry McAuliffe, his latest blunder, let me just play this for you, and I apologize. I ran out of the house with, in the mornings, and here at the radio station studio, and I forgot to transfer my audio sound bites to my flash drive this morning. So what I'm going to have to do is play them for my iPad up to one of the guest mics. So I have bites, but hey, the show must go on, and then I'll talk about it, then I'll play it again. But this is Terry McAuliffe, who, of course, he's the Democrat running to be governor again of Virginia. Although you don't hear, what's really missing from this Terry McAuliffe race? I haven't heard one person come out and say, Terry McAuliffe, when he was our governor, he made Virginia so much better because he did this, he did that, he did the other thing. I haven't heard Terry McAuliffe praised for his past work as governor once from anyone in the media or a constituent. But here he is. This is Terry McAuliffe saying something quite bizarre in his final push here to win. At least you would think he's going to win.
So let's diversify. So here's what I'm going to do. We'll be the first state in America. If you'll teach for 5 years here in Virginia in a high-demand area, that'll be geographic or coursework, we will pay room, board, and tuition in any college, any university, any HBC.
Yeah, so what Terry McAuliffe is saying here is so strange.
50% of the students in Virginia schools, K-12, 50% are students of color, and yet 80% of the teachers are white. We all know what we have to do in a school to make everybody feel comfortable in school. So let's diversify.
So he says,
we'll be the first state in America. If you'll teach for 5 years here in Virginia in a high-demand area, that'll be geographic or coursework, we will pay room, board, and tuition in any college, any university, any HBCU here in the Commonwealth of Virginia.
Okay, now this is very bizarre. So what Terry McAuliffe is saying here, he's not even beating around the bush. What Terry McAuliffe said, he says, we have too many white teachers in Virginia, and you know what we've got to do about that. Terry McAuliffe said, so we have too many. Now if you do the shoe on the other foot test and change, we have too many white teachers in Virginia, and insert that white part with anything else, black, Jews, it sounds like what it is, hardcore racism. So the question here with Terry McAuliffe is, we have too many white teachers and we know what we have to do about it. And then he offers to hire African-American teachers, pay them a full teacher salary, and also cover all of their room and board and education. Wow. Sounds like a pretty good deal. What's Terry McAuliffe doing here with this? We have too many white teachers. You know what we have to do about that. This is what I think is going on with Terry McAuliffe. And I will open up the phones for your thoughts and analysis on this. But I think Terry McAuliffe expects to lose today. I think he expects to lose. The polls, it's not so much pandering to win today by Terry McAuliffe. I think Terry McAuliffe's been in politics for a long time. He was governor before. He ran the DNC when Bill Clinton was president, and he was the top fundraiser for the Democrats. And he's probably also responsible for Nancy Pelosi becoming Speaker of the House the first time around. And when he says something like this, most people immediately have two reactions. Either laugh or say he's pandering. Terry McAuliffe is not stupid. A lot of you aren't familiar with Terry McAuliffe back in the Clinton era. He's a very sharp, shrewd, very nasty politician. this is what I believe Terry McAuliffe is doing. He expects to lose. He expects to lose big. And he's going out there saying stupid things like this so that when he loses, he can say, well, you know, I didn't win. I didn't win, but I stood up for what was right. And the people of Virginia are so racist and don't see the way the world should be. They see a Virginia of the past. I stood up for the right thing. I did lose, but I stood up for what was right. He's actually trying to blow the race at this point. He doesn't see a path to victory, Terry McAuliffe, so he's out there trying to act as if, well, I lost, but I stood up for the right thing, even though it wasn't popular. And if that cost me the election, it cost me the election, but I stood up for what was right. That's what's going on here. There's no way someone could be so stupid to come out and say something like that. We have too many white teachers, and you know what we've got to do about it. This is crazy talk. Sometimes he seems drunk to me, Terry McAuliffe, in the last couple of weeks. Doesn't he seem that way to you just a bit? Now, we were talking yesterday, this race is very, very important if we win it. Because if we win, if Youngkin wins in Virginia, not only will he be traveling around with President Trump at rallies endorsing our congressional candidates, and he'll become a hero having defeated the Democrat establishment over this school board issue, but it also will be the end of the entire Biden agenda as we know it. Okay, this bill will be done, everything else will be done. So it's an important race to lose, and the way that it's an important race for the Democrats to lose. And you really got to ask yourself: is Terry McAuliffe behaving in a way? Is Terry McAuliffe behaving in a way that would make you think he believes he's going to do anything but get creamed in Virginia? The problem they have internal polling that we never see. They have scientifically accurate polling that the public has never seen, and you never will see. And in Virginia, they have woken, to use that old catchphrase, a sleeping giant over this school board issue in Loudoun County. And parents throughout Virginia are ticked off. They're ticked off. And because of the Loudoun County School Board beating up parents, covering up rapes of female students in bathrooms in their schools, having the police tackle parents just because they are concerned about their child's education, they have woken up so many people who would never vote Republican. Many of them would never even bother to register and vote against them, that Terry McAuliffe, you can tell by his actions, is expecting to lose today. So this is all very, very good news. Now we're going to take our first break of the day. We'll come back. I got a lot more to talk about. We'll take your calls on this very, very rainy day. Oh man, a rainy day like this. A rainy day like this is a great day for Steve Kane because he got a new roof put on his home from Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting. Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting works throughout the entire state of Florida, from the Panhandle to Key West, South Florida to the Gulf Coast. No matter where you are in the state of Florida, Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting can help. And you really do want to have a roof inspection. This is hurricane season. This is rainy season, as you can tell. Oh man, it was coming down hard this morning at home. That's why I'm wearing a MAGA hat today instead of a MAGA t-shirt, because I have to keep my head dry. It was really raining bad. Oh man, that walk from the front door to the car, it's umbrella time. But if you have a wet spot on your ceiling, no matter how small it is, it can be the size of a dime, you got a problem because you have a leak in your roof. And by the time you see it on your ceiling, you could have a pretty big problem up at the actual roof level, because before it gets to your ceiling, it's got to make it through the roof. Then in your attic, you have an insulation. It's got to make it through the insulation. And oftentimes, you get up there in that roof, you've got just a tiny little wet spot on the ceiling the size of a small coin, but there is a puddle being held up by the insulation in your attic. You want to call Tom Laporta and have him do a free roof inspection, and hopefully You'll just need a simple repair. See, what Steve did, Steve Kane ignored the whole problem. He had a wet spot, then he had another wet spot, here a wet spot, there a wet spot, everywhere a wet spot, and then boom, he needed a whole new roof. And he had to get about half the drywall replaced because black mold grew throughout his home. Don't let that happen to you. Call Tom Laporta. Now, this number rings directly to his cell phone. He's a good MAGA guy. 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. And again, no matter where you are in the state of Florida, he can help. He does every type of roof too, residential, business, churches. Whatever you have, give him a call. He can help. 954-604-4602. Online, LaportaContracting.com. All right, we'll be right back after this. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. Don't go anywhere.
Can be very expensive. If you go to your doctor's office or one of the big labs, it can cost you hundreds of dollars. Sometimes I haven't had lab tests because of the cost. Then I discovered Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs' goal is to get you all the lab tests you need, save you money, and get you in and out in 15 minutes or less. At Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs, you never need an appointment, no doctor's order, or prescription needed either. You can walk right in and have any of their thousands of lab tests done for just a fraction of the price the big labs or your doctor's office charge. Give them a call. 954-906-5983. 954-906-5983. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs is located on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood near the Coral Square Mall. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. Private and affordable lab testing. 954-906-5983.
This is Lori Kane, and I want to tell you about Brighton Dental Care. I just had a lot of work done, and I avoided going to the dentist for a lot of years because I was afraid of the cost. But I went to Brighton Dental for my free consultation, which, by the way, he offers to all Steve Kane listeners. I had 2 cavities, I needed a crown on top and a crown on the bottom. If I were a horse, they would have put me down. So I scheduled my appointment for the next Saturday because Brighton Dental has Saturday appointments available, and they saved me a ton of money. And I will be a patient for life. Don't let cost stop you from taking care of your teeth. Brighton Dental gives Steve Kane listeners incredible discounts on all dental procedures, just like they gave me. Prices are so reasonable, you don't have to worry about the cost. So call Brighton Dental today at 954-922-4633. That's 954-922-4633. You can visit them at brightondental.com and tell them Lori Kane sent you.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WW.
All right, welcome back. 20 minutes after the hour, I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show. We're live in the mornings from 6 till 9 a.m., broadcasting live on the radio on AM 1470, 96.9 FM, and 95.3 on the FM radio dial. You can also listen to us on the iHeartRadio app, searching for our station call letters WWNN, and of course watch us live stream on my YouTube channel. Just search Brian Craig or The Brian Craig Show on YouTube, and you'll see me in high definition on any device you have that has internet access, even your television set. All right, so question is Terry McAuliffe trying to throw this? Is Terry McAuliffe's internal polls gotten him out there saying crazy things so that when he loses, he can say he was a stand-up guy and stood for what was right? Listen to this. Terry McAuliffe abruptly and without notice canceled an election rally yesterday in Virginia Beach. The rally was scheduled for 12:45 p.m. Monday. No reason was given as to why the Terry McAuliffe event was canceled. Election Eve, he's canceling campaign events. Terry McAuliffe has struggled to draw enthusiastic crowds as the rival Republican candidate Glenn Youngkin has held large rallies with supporters throughout the entire state of Virginia. Youngkin has had a rally scheduled last night in Virginia, which reportedly went well. Oh man, this is something else. This is something else. You know, a lot of times what happens is there's little events. You don't know what's going to become of the events, and then boom, it becomes a major rallying point. Those school board meetings just, there were two things. The school board meetings, it was actually before that. What happened is last year, during the lockdowns, when kids were doing school at home on Zoom, with their classroom teachers on Zoom, parents started to see what was going on in their kids' classroom on a daily basis because they were under lockdown too, and they were appalled by it. And that's why so many of these parents, all of a sudden, out of the blue, have become activists. And when you're talking about an off election like this governor's race, because this is an off election, meaning it's not scheduled with the main election, activist turnout is so key. And all the activists in Virginia are parent activists, rejecting what the Democrats are doing. So I'd like to hear your thoughts on the Virginia race and Terry McAuliffe in particular. Is he trying to throw this at this point from his internal polling? Now, how many of you out there saw on Fox Nation Tucker Carlson's new special, Patriot Purge? The first episode of Patriot Purge was uploaded yesterday, and I watched it, and I'm hoping to get part 2 today and part 3 tomorrow. And my only criticism of Tucker Carlson's special is that it's only 3 parts. Part 1 was like 25, 26 minutes. But it was amazing. Let me tell you, I know everyone out there, like me, has followed everything involved in the Capitol breach, in the January 6th event. And you think you know everything. You think you've thought of everything. You were wrong. Tucker Carlson put together this Patriot Purge special with experts who analyzed January 6th in a way that had not occurred to me. And there are new interviews with people who were eyewitnesses right at the front of the entire event who shared things that I have never considered before. Now, I know a lot of people out there claim to know everything. No surprises here. I knew all that. No, you did not. And what Tucker Carlson has put together with Patriot Purge is a masterpiece. And my wife and I watched it, and we did a pretty detailed review on my podcast last night, but I'm going to talk about it now too, and I would like to hear from those of you out there who watched Patriot Purge on Fox Nation. Now, I got a call from a listener Thursday or Friday, whenever we were talking about this last week. I can't remember what day it was, but a lady called up, and she was upset that this was on the Fox Nation app and not Fox Television. Now, I subscribe to Fox Nation just to get this special. And my first thought was wrong about this. Last week when I talked to the caller, she said, well, if it's so important, why are they putting it on the paid app and not on the cable? And my first thought was, and this is, I was very wrong about this, I believe. My first thought was, well, they're always hyping that Fox Nation app, and they put this on Fox Nation app just to draw people to subscribe to it, like I did. And I'll probably unsubscribe when this is over because there's not a lot there for me. I did watch part of an episode of Cops. Couldn't really get into it too much. But it's like the old show, but I just couldn't quite get into it too much. But anyway, I believe Tucker Carlson's Patriot Purge is not on Fox News Channel for a very specific reason. And not because they're just trying to hype the Fox Nation app. I believe that Patriot Purge is so spot on with incredible analysis, analyzing the Capitol breach in a way that I've never considered, really, with experts that I never imagined I'd be hearing from their very interesting analysis of the event. I think it's too controversial for regular cable. I think that they cannot run it on regular cable, not because they do not want to, but because they can't. And I don't mean the corporate level just doesn't want it on there. If the corporate level didn't want this documentary seen, it wouldn't be on the Fox Nation app either. I think it is so right on everything that it brings up in Patriot Purge that it's too controversial for regular cable. And those of you that have seen it, I want to hear your thoughts on it. I'm going to share some of mine now. It was amazing. It was the fastest 26 minutes of my life because at the end I wanted more analysis. what I was talking about on my podcast last night when I was reviewing this, back in the 80s, this era has died off, but back in the 80s, there would be these huge television events, sometimes a TV movie, sometimes a special on 2020, sometimes a miniseries. And it would take the whole country by storm. And everyone would be talking about it. Geraldo Rivera was fired from ABC's 2020 for a special he did that was too controversial about the Kennedys. He had interviewed federal agents from the FBI who had the tapes of President Kennedy and Bobby Kennedy having sex with Marilyn Monroe. Remember that? He did that thing on the Kennedys and Marilyn Monroe. They fired him in 2020 over it. And 2020 approved it because they produced it, reviewed it, put it on their air, but it was too controversial after it aired, and Geraldo was out. It worked out better for him, didn't it? It may not seem like that way these days on the 5, but he had a good run after that. There were some miniseries that were typically liberal that would push agendas, but it got everyone talking. One of them was The Day After. Remember The Day After? John Lithgow, Jason Robards, Steve Guttenberg, before he was super famous. And it was about nuclear war. Now, it was very left-wing and against everything President Reagan was doing, but when The Day After aired, America stopped and everyone was talking about The Day After, which was pretty frightening. I was a kid, and it was pretty scary to me. And it seemed so real because back then there was so much Cold War nonsense propaganda going on. I just assumed there would be a nuclear war sometime. Then they had, the BBC had Threads. Remember Threads? Anybody see Threads? It didn't just show before the nuclear war, during the nuclear war, but when, I think, like 13 years after the war. It was pretty brutal, Threads. And there have been other things too. Roots. And the era of that has died off, the TV movie, miniseries, getting the dialogue going. But Patriot Purge from Tucker Carlson is that kind of television that we haven't seen in a long time. And I think it is too controversial for them to put it on television. The left, since he announced Patriot Purge last week and showed the trailer, the left-wing media have been having meltdowns over it. Jim Acosta, MSNBC, they've been just flipping out over it. Now, it may eventually make its way to the regular Fox network. I hope that it does. I don't know. Has anything made it from the Fox Nation app over to the main network? I do not know. But I'll take our break, then I'll talk a little bit about Patriot Purge. But I also want to hear from some of you out there who have seen it. 1-888-GO-CANE-1. That's our number. It's a toll-free call from anywhere. 1-888-465-2631. So we'll take our break. I'll get back. I'll talk a little bit about Patriot Purge. Your calls on Virginia and Terry McAuliffe certainly are welcome as well. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. We'll take our break for the bottom of the hour and be back with your calls after this.
Seniors, open enrollment is here. I Will Advisors are here to offer you an unbiased comparison of all your Medicare health insurance options. I Will Advisors specialize in educating Medicare beneficiaries on every available option to ensure you make the right choice for your needs. Call us directly at 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080. This is Steve Kane.
I was probably, what year was The Day After? Like 1983 or something? So I was probably about 12.
Listen to one of our listeners, Ray, talk about his experience with Barry Siegel.
I want to praise Barry Siegel. And one of the most important things about sponsors is integrity. You have to know that you're dealing with an honest person. I had to go up to Merle.
It had to be about 83.
Because her husband died, and I was helping her out. She had a trust and everything. She had not revised this trust now since 1997. And you know, Barry says every 3 years at least you gotta. I called Barry's office because I had a question. I let the secretary know. So I'm calling from South Carolina. I know the laws are different, and I'm just asking for information for my sister. Now, you know, most people just blow you off, right? You know, almost immediately, within a few minutes, Barry himself called me. I asked my questions and so on, and he answered. He was very patient. I was quite a while with him, and talked about a lot of things, you know, and this and that. But I wanted to say, you know, character, integrity, these are the most important things.
Why are you shipping back your iPhone, Jacqueline?
I've dealt with a lot of them. They all have that you can trust them.
I said I saw you're shipping it back, but I missed the comment about why.
Barry Siegel right now. Toll free 1-855-FLA-3782. That's 1-855 toll free FLA-3782. Tell them Steve sent you.
Arrow coming back. There we go.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWNN.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show now. Rainy day, rainy roads. And, man, you know, I came to work, driving a little safe because it's raining, but I got stopped by, like, every light. And, boom, I hit the brakes. No problem. Why? Because I have great tires from Friendly Tire in Margate. You know, the prices at Friendly Tire are so low on their new tires and their used tires, there's no excuse for you and your family to be driving around on bald tires. You want to have tires that are safe, tires with great tread. And that's what you'll find even if you're buying used tires at Friendly Tire in Margate. You know, used tires start at $30 for most sizes, and Friendly Mike has thousands of used tires in stock. I've bought both new and used tires there. Their new prices on tires are just out of this world low. On my wife's car, the lowest price I could find around town, $175 a tire. At Friendly Tire, $75 a tire. That's $100 savings per tire. And at Friendly Tire, he doesn't charge you to mount the tire. He doesn't, and that's a new tire, by the way. He doesn't charge you to mount the tire. He doesn't charge you to balance the tire. He doesn't even charge you to dispose of your old tires. That's on new and used purchases. It cost him money to have those tires taken away. It does. But he doesn't charge you for any of that. The price he quotes you is out the door and on the road. Give him a call, 954-977-9445. Friendly Mike will give you a quote right over the phone. He has all the name brands you love, too. Goodyear, Aurora, Firestone, Bridgestone, whatever you're looking for. If you have run flats, my wife has run flats on her Mini Cooper. Oh, man, he has incredible deals on run flats. In fact, you will not find run flat prices as low as you will find at Friendly Tire. I promise you that. 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net. But give Mike a call. He will give you a price quote right over the phone. They're also open on Saturdays. 954-977-9445. Okay, so Patriot Purge on Fox Nation. Tucker Carlson, and this is just part one. I can only imagine what he's going to have in part 2 and 3. He had a guy, an expert guest that he had on Patriot Purge, and he worked for the CIA. And what his job was for the CIA was to discredit the Soviet Union. And he gave some examples of how he did this by causing violence to break out at events that the USSR were putting together and get headlines in the newspapers and in the news about them. And he talked about the events, he talked about what he did, and he showed the headlines in the newspapers the next day about violence at these Russian events. And he went through everything that happened on January 6th with Tucker Carlson and talked about how this is a textbook psych ops operation. And he gives a lot of detail on this. Now, I know a lot of people have said, oh, we knew it was a psych ops. There's a difference in suspecting something. There's a difference in suspecting something and having evidence come out that proves your suspicions. There's a difference in suspecting something and having an expert walk you through and explain to you step by step about how your suspicions are correct. Big difference in that. He interviewed one guy who's a Muslim American. He's Muslim MAGA, a MAGA Muslim. And he's on like a watch list now over the Capitol breach. He was in front of the stage when President Trump spoke, on the other side of the mall in front of the White House. And things started happening at the Capitol while he was over there in front of the stage watching President Trump speak. He said someone from the White House came up to him and asked him if he could go down there and try to cool things off. He was with Alex Jones. Alex Jones was even trying to cool things off. They had some witnesses who showed how, with video I've not seen before, the crowd in front of the Capitol had calmed down, and showed video that I have never seen before. I've seen some of it, but a lot of it I had not seen before, of MAGA people trying to stop people from going in. You don't see any of this on television. The crowd was calmed down. And then after the crowd was orderly and calmed down, they'd not gone into the building, then the Capitol Police started firing tear gas into the crowd. And Tucker Carlson, his expert from the CIA, the retired CIA guy, he explained how this is a textbook tactic to rile the crowd up. There's all kinds of things in this Patriot Purge. He talked about, he had other witnesses who saw people going towards the Capitol in black clothing and then all of a sudden stopping and pulling out of their backpack Trump shirts and MAGA hats and putting them on and changing clothes, or putting them on what they were already wearing and then going into the building. It's amazing. He had one journalist come on from Revolver News, who I believe is in Florida, based on the background. Looked like he was on the Intercoastal Waterway in Florida. Talk about the Whitmer plot. And Tucker Carlson got into a lot of this, about how 80%, 12 of the 18 people involved in the Whitmer plot, the kidnap plot, 12 of 18 of them were either federal agents or federal informants. He talked about, where was the state house where they had I can't remember, which state house was it where people burst in before the Capitol breach? I had forgotten which state house it was off the top of my head. But Tucker Carlson, and this is just in a 26-minute part one, and it's more detailed than I'm sharing with you right now. That's why you got to watch it. Tucker Carlson showed how that state house being overrun was a practice run for what happened at the Capitol breach, in great detail. This is not like I knew, we already knew this. You've suspected. Tucker Carlson has put it all together with expert analysis that is evidence. Blew my mind. And also the experts that were interviewed by Tucker Carlson talked about the Antifa violence last year. Why was no one arrested? Why was Antifa never cracked down on? This is a very interesting little thing that they put together there. This is all in Patriot Purge Part 1. And what Tucker Carlson and his crew and his experts came to the conclusion was the reason that and these are experts in this agitator movement that he was interviewing, the reason that Antifa was allowed to do what it is they do is to give an impression to activists, in this case it would be MAGA in Washington, that there would be no consequences for this type of action. It was part of the plot to set up MAGA people at the Capitol breach. It's an amazing special. And I know a lot of you out there don't like Fox News. I get it. I got a beef with a lot of what goes on at Fox News. But Tucker Carlson is taking risks that no one else in media are taking. And I'm telling you, they are not allowed at this point to run this on the mainstream Fox News channel. It may make it there. I don't know if anything from Fox Nation ever makes it over there. It may make it over there when people have seen Patriot Purge and the first wave of left-wing criticism is complete, because the left are having meltdowns all over the internet over Patriot Purge because it's so spot on. If it wasn't, they'd be laughing at it. But they're angry. The left are Jim Acosta, Don Lemon, Joy Reid, and others are having meltdowns over Patriot Purge because it is so spot on, and it's telling a truth with experts that they do not want out there. It's that good. It's that good. Tucker Carlson deserves Emmy Awards for journalism on this piece. This is the most important television event, the most important television news, the most important docu-news event on television in decades. In fact, I can't think of anything that is as shocking as this and so spot on in the news in my mind right now to even compare it. And that's just part one. I didn't want to subscribe to the Fox Nation app. I really don't care for the content up there. But I got it for this. And you should too. You need to see this, not hear me give just, and I'm giving a very generic analysis of this. It's much more detailed than I'm sharing with you right now. And it's important for you to see it in its entirety, not just hear me talk about it or see a clip online or someone over here talking about it. Now, I know a lot of you have seen it. I want to hear from people that have seen it and hear your thoughts on it at 1-888-GO-CANE 1. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call. 888-GO-CANE 1. K-A-N-E and the number 1. 888-465-2631. We'll be right back with your calls, and I got a lot more to talk about too. We've only scratched the surface, but we've got 2 hours and 17 minutes to go. So we've got plenty of time to get to everything. We're here till 9, people. We'll be right back after this. Do not go anywhere.
Open Enrollment is here. MyPillow Advisors is here to offer you an unbiased comparison of all your Medicare health insurance options. MyPillow Advisors specialize in educating Medicare beneficiaries on every available option to ensure you make the right choice for your needs. Call us directly at 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080.
Hi, my name is Tom Laporta, the owner of Laporta Contracting, Roofing, and Restoration. We have been in the roofing and construction industry since 1982. We are state of Florida certified roofing and general contractors focusing on residential and commercial roofing, impact windows, and building restoration. The 2021 hurricane season is upon us. If you have noticed any...
Good morning, everyone. Make sure you guys like the video.
If your roof is older than 15 years, you will want to call us to come out and evaluate your roof. Our services run from minor repairs to complete new roof systems. We install every kind of roof, from regular asphalt shingles, clay or concrete tiles, standing metal seam, wood shakes, and slate tile systems. Call us at 954-604-4602 for a free home inspection and estimate. Again, that number is 954-604-4602.
Hey guys, Brian Craig here. I have the MyPillow slippers, and Mike Lindell, he's right. These are the most comfortable slippers I've ever worn. And you can get them for 40% off at MyPillow.com with the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. One of our listeners called in on the air and told us about his experience with the MyPillow My Slippers.
Brian, I have the MyPillow slippers, and I have neuropathy. These are fantastic slippers.
Really? Which ones do you have? Which style do you have?
The fur-lined one.
Oh, the slip-on fur-lined ones?
Yeah, inside, outside.
What is neuropathy, and what are the symptoms?
Well, the nerves in your feet start going bad, and it affects your balance, and it's painful.
So you're wearing the MyPillow My Slippers, which, by the way, 40% off with the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, and it's helped with your neuropathy.
Yes, it is. It's much. I have to wear slippers at home. I can't go barefoot or even with socks on.
Wow.
So I have to wear that. And I also have the MyPillow pillow and the MyPillow mattress topper and the...
That mattress topper is unbelievable, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Oh,
My wife loves it.
Oh, man. I know, they're all great. Yeah, I know. And by the way, when you use the promo code KANE at checkout, 40% off the MyPillow slippers, 30% off the MyPillow mattress topper, and you get 2 free MyPillows with it. So it's great. Well, that's awesome. Order your MyPillow, My Slippers 40% off with the promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E, at MyPillow.com, or call 1-800-716-4879, 1-800-716-4879. Promo code KANE, K-A-N-E.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWNN.
Oh yeah, now little update on the MyPillow, My Slippers, which I own. You know, I announced yesterday, Mike Lindell and MyPillow gave the Steve Kane Show our very own MyPillow website, mypillow.com/Kane, K-A-N-E. When you use the promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E, you can actually get the MyPillow, My Slippers for 50% off. Half off, people, with the promo code KANE. It's an incredible deal. They make a great gift. And it's a great way for those of you who are out of town to support this program. And it's also a great way for everyone in this listening audience to support the great Mike Lindell. 50% off the MyPillow, My Slippers. Go to mypillow.com/Kane, K-A-N-E, and use our promo code KANE at checkout. And by the way, you can take advantage of any special you see there with our promo code KANE. You can also order by phone, 800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879, promo code KANE. Now, Ari Fleischer, I like Ari Fleischer. Okay, he worked for Bush. He was President Bush's press secretary on 9/11. And I really do listen to his analysis of things. He's a very reasonable guy. And he's also very, like the Tucker Carlson Patriot Purge special, spot on with his analysis. And he tweeted last night about the Virginia race and Ari Fleischer's prediction. He says, Ari Fleischer on the Twitter, prediction, Youngkin will win comfortably, beating McAuliffe by 4.7 points. There are three reasons. I almost said reasons. This is Ari Fleischer. Youngkin will win comfortably by 4.7 points. There are three reasons. Point one, he is reasonable, smart, and reassuring. He's a good candidate. Two, McAuliffe is a political animal, not popular these days. That's true. Three, suburban anti-woke rebellion is real. You know, this anti-woke rebellion, I haven't heard it referred to in that way, this suburban anti-woke rebellion. You know, those of you that listen to this program, you fit the definition of an activist because you know what is going on in politics. You know what is going on in the news. And the fight in any election is that small percentage of people that are undecided or don't follow politics. You hear people talk about the suburban people all the time. And this woke movement has really woken up people. The ones that are truly woke are us in the MAGA movement, not the left. And the left are looking to take us back to a time of segregation and discrimination. That clip I played in the first segment when Terry McAuliffe said, we have too many white teachers in Virginia, and you know what we've got to do about that. My goodness. Doesn't get more racist than that. Doesn't get more racist than that. And people of all ethnicities are pretty ticked off about all these things for very good reason. I saw a story today, American Airlines. Passengers are being bumped and replaced by illegal immigrants who are being transported throughout the country. You know, here are people, many of them on a flight back home so they can be at work the next day, and they're getting bumped on their flights because illegals are getting priority on American airline flights. I wonder how many of those illegals are getting first-class tickets because the planes are filling up. People are getting sick of this. And the wokester activists who are commanding so much of the agenda, not just in the media, but in the Biden regime, have woken up people in this country who never follow politics. And they're following it and getting worked up when it's not even an election year. This is an off-year election in Virginia right now. And people can't wait to go out and vote against woke. And Dems are woke. So, Ari Fleischer, spot-on analysis as always. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Morning, Brian. Something that's interesting about the January 6th thing, I was thinking about going to it, and at one point there was a video on YouTube that I watched where people were talking about the events that were going to happen, and I posted a comment like, I'd like to go, but I don't know where to park my car, and I'd like to take a train in. And I had mysteriously, all of a sudden, like 2 different emails show up telling me all kinds of stuff and where to meet up. And I never gave anybody my email. And I know you could probably get that through Google. But the next thing that happened is I got text messages. And so they wanted this thing to be bigger and badder than it was. And the MAGA people are good people, and we didn't do that.
Yeah.
When this happened.
Well, I thought about going up with my daughter just to see President Trump speak in front of the White House, and I knew some people that were going to be there that were thinking about going, and I had a cousin I hadn't seen in 25, 30 years who was going with her husband, and I thought about going, and thank the Lord above I did not go. Because if I would have gone there and been in front of that stage, I because of what I do, I could be one of the people that are, in solitary confinement right now with these political prisoners, and it's so bad that even as a tourist, MAGA people should not be going to D.C. right now. If you go to, I love going to Washington D.C. I love the Smithsonian, and as many times as I've been through it, I've never seen everything, and then there's always new things. But we can't go. If you're a MAGA person and you go as a tourist just to visit the Air and Space Museum right now, you're going to get put on a watch list, like you're Al Qaeda. I'm serious. You won't know it, but you'll be on a watch list because they've decided that you hear Biden talk about this. This comes up in Tucker's special. They've decided that MAGA is a domestic terrorist, white supremacist organization and must be stopped. And that's part of the reason Youngkin is doing so well in the polls in Virginia.
Yeah, but here's the thing, Brian. The fact that they were able to get somebody to get my email to encourage me to go, and then I got text messages. I didn't give that information out in my little comment in Yahoo or in Google.
Well, you did somewhere. You filled out something somewhere. Have you ever been to a Trump rally? Yeah, someone somehow got your information somewhere. I don't know where. I know. I mean, I got. I'll tell you. It could have been from social media. I got a lot of information sent to me about the Trump event, the Trump rally there on January 6th, and the couple weeks before. That was unusual in that I was getting so much of it. It surprises me how much information people get about you off of social media. Some listeners, I get phone calls and text messages from listeners regularly, and I don't give my phone number out that much, but they seem to find it, and I've even changed my phone number twice because Al the John had my number, and was just texting me nonstop his liberal nonsense. And even though I changed my number on occasion, listeners still find it. So you'd be surprised. But definitely they wanted more people up there. Yeah, they did. They definitely wanted. Yeah, have you seen Tucker's special?
I haven't seen it because I haven't signed up for that.
You sign up for the app just to see it, and then cancel it after it's done. Just get the 1 month so you can see it. It's important to see. Yeah. All right. Hey, where are you calling from?
Coral Springs.
Coral Springs, yes. Coral Springs, the home of Wings Plus. That's right. All right, take care, man. Oh, you do? Oh, new or used tires?
I just need to get one new one.
One new one, that's okay. One tire does it. Well, make sure you tell Mike you heard about him on the Steve Kane Show.
Of course.
All right, take care. Yeah, sometimes you just need one. Oh, man, I tell you. Oh, by the way, Friendly Tire does tire repairs, too, which no one else does, starting at just $7. That's right. Yeah. Well, listen, this is the brave new world we are in. And the Democrats have always thought that Republicans were racist white supremacists. We've heard this rhetoric. And it's absurd. It's absurd. In today's world, and it's been this way for decades, white supremacists, the Klan, all these people they're talking about all the time, there's 10 guys somewhere. Okay? 10 guys somewhere. It is an overhyped thing, and they always accuse us of being these things. We are such a diverse political movement, the MAGA movement. The Republican Party has always been diverse. Remember, the Republican Party was the party not just of Lincoln, but of the abolitionist movement, the anti-slavery movement. And Republicans were the first to have blacks in the Senate, in the House, and in governor's positions. Now, they may have been appointed by the Republican government in the Reconstruction era, but we had the first black federal officials, the Republican Party. This has always been a diverse party that the Democrats have been fighting against. The Democrats, they are the party that had an insurrection in the Civil War. And the truth of the matter is, the Democrat insurrection of the Civil War never ended. They've always been undermining this country. Look at Biden yesterday, apologizing for the United States at the climate summit, for not being involved in the Paris climate accord, whatever they want us to sign, because Trump pulled us out. He went over there and apologized. Liberals hate this country. I don't know why. I really don't. It's something I can't understand because they live here. They can go live anywhere they want in the world, and they live here. They could go to Europe. They could go to Australia. They could go to Canada. But they live here. I don't understand the liberals' anger towards this country. But the Democrat Party as a movement, at the Joe Biden Pelosi level, the Democrat Civil War insurrection never ended. After the Civil War, the mistake the Republicans made after the Civil War is they should have outlawed the Democrat Party then, and they didn't because they were trying to get the country healed. But they had over 100 years of terror with the Democrat Ku Klux Klan and their Jim Crow laws, and it has never stopped. I mean, look at the Vietnam War era. The Democrats were colluding with the Soviet Union in nationwide protest movements that were all fake in this country against U.S. involvement in Vietnam. And we know that the Vietnam War movement was organized and funded by the Soviet Union and backed by the Democrats. Many of them, like John Kerry, are in power today. I don't know what Biden's position was on the war in Vietnam. I don't know. Looking back, I don't know. That's one of the things we've looked back on him. He seemed to be talking about being opposed to integration of society more than that in those old days. But they were undermining the United States then. You look at these movements like Occupy Wall Street during the Obama era. Liberals, Democrats. Okay? All of these movements that have caused violence, undermined the country, been against the country, always from the left. Never from the right. And we have this one incident, January 6th, that was organized by them, not us. And they're defining us on one movement that they set up when they've been doing this for 150 plus years. All right, we'll take our break for the top of the hour. 1 hour down, 2 to go. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. 888-465-2631. We'll be right back after this.
We've got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Any lab tests now of Boca offer more than just lab work. They also have B12 injections available. B12 injections promote weight loss, increase energy, reduce stress, promote healthy skin, improve sleep, increase metabolism, fight heart disease, improve memory, and improve mood. B12 injections at any lab test now of Boca Raton, like their lab test, are priced low. 5 injections for just $69. Other places in town charge $349 for 3 injections, so that is a huge savings. Any lab test now of Boca Raton is located at 23016 Sandalfoot Plaza on the east side of 441, just a few doors down from Western Beef. If you have any questions, call 561-237-5009. 561-237-5009. Any lab tests now of Boca Raton. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on The Steve Kane Show.
This is Scott from Cut My Kilowatts. Give me a call today to save up to 50% on your insulation and radiant barrier, and up to 35% on your electric bill. That's 954-939-1500. 954-939-1500.
Hi, this is Lori Kane, and I want to talk to you about Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental Care. I just love Dr. Gupta. I've been seeing him for around 3 years. He always has time for me. He never does unnecessary work, and his prices are very affordable. And if you need implants, go see him because he has the best prices around. Let me give you the number. Write it down. It's 954-922-4633. That's 954-922-4633, BrightonDentalCare.com. He's just the best.
Seniors, open enrollment is here. I Will Advisors is here to offer you an unbiased comparison of all your Medicare health insurance options. I Will Advisors specialize in educating Medicare beneficiaries on every available...
Yvette, $20 super sticker. Thank you so much, Yvette. Everyone thank Yvette. Jacqueline, a $50 super sticker. Thank you so much, Jacqueline. And everyone thank Jacqueline, too. Awesome, guys. Thank you so much for that.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
You are listening to South Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll-free, dial 1-888-GO-KANE-1. That's 1-888-GO-KANE-1. And now...
All right, guys, welcome back. Hour number 2 has begun. It's MAGA Radio, people. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Radio Show. I'm so excited. This weekend, do we change the clocks this weekend? I can't remember which is which, what we call each one. I hate it. When we change the clocks this weekend, that's the time I like. It gets lighter earlier because I'm such an early morning guy. And next week at this time, I'm going to look out my window here in the studio, which is completely black. It's like, looks like 1 in the morning outside. It'll be light. The sun will be out. So that'll be nice. And those of you that listen to us on the radio stations, especially AM 1470, that means we'll go to high power, or full 50,000 watts on AM 1470 earlier in the morning when the clocks change. I also like it because of that. But I really like it getting lighter earlier, darker earlier, because I go to bed earlier. It makes it easier for me to go to bed. All right, well, if you're just tuning in, we've talked about quite a bit, talked about Patriot Purge, talked about whether or not Terry McAuliffe is trying to throw this race because he's losing so bad, and he's doing crazy things and saying stupid things like the one clip I played in the first hour of Terry McAuliffe. We have too many white teachers in Virginia, and we know what we got to do about that, he said. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Now, yesterday, you may have seen the footage of Joe Biden falling asleep. MSNBC and NBC News defended Biden falling asleep at a conference on global television. Listen to this. Fox News reporting. An NBC News reporter worked to find excuses Monday for Joe Biden's catnap during speeches at the 2021 United Nations Climate Change Conference. Now, first off, this climate change conference, how many people are there with their staffs? There's got to be over 10,000 people that are at this climate change conference. It got maybe even 50,000 people, if you include the press and their staffs and everything else. If these people really believed that human activity would make the earth incapable of supporting life as we know it, and we've got to curb emissions, would tens of thousands of them fly somewhere? If that were true, they would be so terrified they wouldn't be flying anywhere, especially after last year when the entire planet was doing everything by Zoom. They could do the climate conference by Zoom meeting. They could, if they really truly believed what they're preaching there. Anyway, let me get back to this. An NBC News reporter worked to find excuses Monday for Joe Biden's apparent catnap during speeches at the 2021 United Nations Climate Change Conference. Biden, who warned military service members this summer that the top Pentagon officials consider climate change to be the greatest threat. Is that even a greater threat than MAGA, Biden? To America's national security in the coming years. He sat with his arms crossed, looking like he was drifting in and out of sleep in a viral video that was shared by a reporter from the Washington Post. Andrea Mitchell of MSNBC welcomed NBC News senior White House reporter Kelly O'Donnell to her program to explain what happened in the video that featured Biden also wiping his eyes. He was seen on camera with eyes closed. It appears that perhaps he was dozing. Kelly O'Donnell told viewers on MSNBC, this is Kelly O'Donnell, MSNBC talking, in these settings, cameras are all around. The camera caught President Biden, who turned 79 this month, with his eyes closed for a period of time. And you're right, these can be embarrassing situations. O'Donnell added to the MSNBC audience that Biden has stressed the importance of climate change meetings that might have put him to sleep. A moment like that in a session can be a political obstacle, O'Donnell said before attempting to do damage control. It's also true that the hours are long, the time difference is real, and the president has kept a rigorous schedule over several days, having lots of meetings, appearances, and speeches. And some were quite late last night. You know, I never saw Trump falling asleep like that. In fact, Ronnie Jackson, when he was the White House doctor and had that epic press conference he had as the White House doctor, said that they give stimulants to our people to wake them up because of the time zone. Why they didn't give an upper to Biden? I would imagine that uppers would conflict with some other medication he's on. So over the weekend, they tell us he had a bathroom accident before meeting with the Pope. Now we see him falling asleep on television at a conference that is so important that the world must stop for it. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. He's too feeble. He is just too feeble for the job. 888-465-2631. I remember when Reagan was running in 1980, even though I was a kid, he was going to be 70. He was 70 on Inauguration Day, so he was running in his last year at the age of 69. And they said that he was too old and feeble. Ronald Reagan, you go back to the 1980 campaign with Ronald Reagan. He was like an NFL football player compared to this guy. Never saw him falling asleep. Good morning, you're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Ken. Good morning, Conservative Doug.
Oh, hey, Doug.
So, I certainly don't like Joe Biden, but I can give him a pass on falling asleep. Listen to anybody talk for so long hearing the same nonsense.
No. He told us this was the most important event, that it's going to save the planet and blah, blah, blah. When you're at something that is so important and you fall asleep on television the day after a report came that you had a bathroom emergency while fully clothed, come on.
Yeah, well, that's what he read. What he really thinks is a whole other story. Probably thinking there. Anyway, you know what the funny part is? There they are saying it's such an important event. I just read yesterday that this volcano in Indonesia is one of like 6 or 7 active volcanoes. They say that volcano has made more carbon than man is making, I think, through history.
You know, I was surprised. Last week, Newsmax had a reporter live on the scene at the volcano, and I was watching it and was not impressed. It looked rather small, and it didn't look like they do in the movies.
Yeah, and that's just one of the volcanoes underneath the ocean. There's about 6 or 7 active volcanoes, and the one is making more carbon. Yeah, we may have climate change, but not man-made climate.
Well, how much carbon has been created by the climate summit? There's got to be 40 to 50,000 people there, if you include their staff, the press, and of course, they got to bring, these are politicians, so there's a lot of sex workers and their sugar daddies and all that in there, what I mean? You add all that up together, how much pollution did they create? That was unnecessary. That could have been done on a Zoom chat.
Unnecessary, but again, I think anything man makes is nothing to contribute to any kind of...
Well, I watch all these space flights. Like I watched William Shatner go up in space a couple weeks back, and when I see the Earth, I see a blue planet. I don't see... I see nothing but green and blue. I don't see any pollution, anything. All right, take care, Conservative Doug. Take care. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. It's Andrea.
Hey, Andrea. What's up?
I just wanted to let you know that you really gave me a very interesting point of view yesterday after listening to your podcast. And this is what I mean. So for the longest time, I thought, you know, how they were just admitting rioters and then releasing them. I thought that was to clearly establish that there's a two-tier justice system.
Mm-hmm.
Even remotely think about the point that you brought up. But now that makes me think that all of these things that the Democrat Party are doing, you know, effectively to destroy this country is really a form of, like, agitation to American people. I think that they want some type of conflict so that they can release the military.
Well, what was going on, if you know, Tucker brought that up, not me, but what it showed was that this planning of January 6th was close to a year in the making. That most of 2020 was spent planning that event. That it was a long-term plan. Mary, $10 super sticker. Thank you. Everyone, thank Mary for that. Thank you.
To watch it.
Yeah, I really do. I want people to get Fox Nation, get that app, even if it's for 1 month, to watch this and then cancel it. It's that important, and I'm telling you, it is not on Fox Cable because it's too truthful. They would not be able to do it. Fox News could lose cable outlets over carrying this. It's that spot on. I hope that they will eventually air it on Fox News Channel at a good time, not in the middle of the night or something on the weekend. But it is important for everyone to see it, not just hear me talk about it and see clips, see the entire thing. And I don't want to hear anybody else tell me there's no surprises there. There are. It was analysis that was very detailed, tying together events that I never tied to January 6th in the planning stages. It's amazing. I can't praise it enough. Tucker Carlson is taking a lot of risks here.
Oh, you know what? I really think that he does take a lot of risks, and probably, you know, the backlash that he gets on a daily basis, it must be just...
No, we all get backlash. What he's going through right now, they're trying to shut him down. Now, remember Antifa went to his house when his wife was home alone. Remember that? Hiding in the bathroom or the closet or whatever. You know, now he's moved them to other places, you know, but that have more security. But they're trying to get him taken off the air. There was that remember one of the Democrat congressmen, was it Swalwell? One of the Democrat congressmen had a fake hate call from a Tucker Carlson person that I talked about last week on the program that was so fake. You know, now luckily he's got his family trust, that Swanson TV dinner money or whatever he's independently wealthy from a trust fund. So, you know, he's got his stepmother is the heiress to the Swanson TV dinner fortune. But so he's got some financial security behind him. So that enables him to take some risks. But I think he pulled in a lot of favors at Fox to get this special done. It's that revealing about January 6th.
About him. The other thing, going to Joe Biden falling asleep, first of all, I can't with that. But I also want you to remember that President Biden is not the first one to have a bathroom accident.
Hillary Clinton.
In the Democratic Party, because Jerry Nadler has had quite a few.
Oh, I thought you were going to mention Hillary. One of the debates with President Trump, Hillary was late coming back from the commercial break, and she was in the bathroom. And she didn't make it back for that. Yeah, Jerry Nadler. Yeah. You know, Jerry Nadler is about 4'8". Have you ever seen him standing next to somebody? He is about 4'8". He to me, he looks like Danny DeVito was the Penguin in Batman.
Yeah, I agree.
He's a terrible person. He is a terrible man. I despise him more than Pelosi.
Well, no.
Oh, yeah. I watched him in that committee hearing last week. He is really scummy.
I think that well, for me, I just can't with Nancy Pelosi. I can't. I think that she's just a level of evil that
she is. Her main thing is she's a snob. She is the biggest snob in the Congress.
I can't with her.
Yeah. All right, Andrea. Take care, Andrea. Talk to you soon. Take care. All right. Always good calls from Andrea. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. How are we doing today?
Hey, Wisconsin Gary, the truck driver. What's going on?
Well, you brought up a good point about this G20, about pollution and all this other stuff. Have you ever ate at a Burger King, Brian?
Oh, yeah, of course.
So, they do that flame Whopper, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the amount of smoke that comes out of their building is almost as equal as 75 trucks regulated on like the DPF filters and all this other stuff. That
wow.
Pollution one Burger King puts out.
A day? You're kidding me. I never heard that before. Oh, my goodness. So, do you think Al Gore knows about this?
There's not a lot of people that know about that. They all try to keep that all under wraps. You know how that is. It's more or less put more regulations on the trucks with the emissions, which these trucks are barely functioning now, hardly with some of the...
So that's because this is an interesting thing. You made news on this program 2 weeks ago exposing the trucking real problem in California. Now national news are talking. This pollution of a Burger King equals how many trucks a day? How many semi-trucks?
70 for what amount that Burger King puts out is about 75 trucks.
75 semi-truckloads of pollution a day, and that's from the smoke. That's from the flame grill.
Flame grill.
Wow. So if they made it like McDonald's and just used deep fries and a fry pan, it wouldn't be as much. That's amazing.
But either way, it still leaves a carbon footprint for the other. Believe it or not, Commander Depends, he actually made the Sky News that he fell asleep there. So, it's the whole world knows about it. It's other than Sky News, Fox News reported on it. There's other areas, probably even the UK, they probably reported it. But, it's like, it's just, this guy, he's going to lose basically the start of like the Virginia elections, which I'm going to be watching very closely today, and this is going to be the turning point for RU.
Well, get prepared, because what's going to happen today, the media, if they cover it, they're going to talk about exit polls and as a way to discourage people from voting after work. They're going to talk, and the exit polls are going to be pro-McAuliffe. They always are pro-Dem. So don't be discouraged by any of that in Virginia. Vote after work, vote on the way to work, go vote at lunchtime.
So if you are in Virginia, I'm telling all the voters in Virginia, go out, don't care what the news says, do your duty, stand united, go out and vote.
That's right.
It's going to be an important election for all of you in Virginia.
And if you think one vote doesn't count, in Florida in 2000, President Bush won by 150 votes or so. That was a presidential election for the entire country. So every vote counts, even if you're right. Now the way it works in Florida, if you're in line and the polls close, you still get the vote. They don't kick you out of line. So I'm sure it works that way in Virginia. So stand your ground, people.
Yeah, in Virginia, I did do some research on Virginia, and I'm not going to really say it because I don't know if you two both.
You never know. Well, sure, but I don't like to make predictions on elections right on the E, because I'll be wrong maybe, but the mainstream media's coverage of this election in Virginia. Yesterday, I shared the clip of the polls of Chuck Todd from Meet the Press, devastating polls for Democrats. They would not be promoting depressing polls for McAuliffe and Democrats on the eve of an election if they thought they were going to win in any way, shape, or form. They're preparing their people for the defeat.
Yeah, and RFBN, they had a great thing last night with showing it on there, and there's a lot of people, even moderate, some Democrats.
Yes, please,
everyone
thank Jacqueline for that.
So that's a good thing for Virginia. That's what everyone needs to do, is actually wake up and see what's happening to our country. As a president, what he's doing to the U.S. should get out and vote and turn every...
Absolutely. Hey, Gary, I got to run for a break, but thanks for the call. Always good content from Wisconsin, Gary. It's 22 minutes after the hour. We'll take a break and be right back after this. Do not go anywhere.
Medicare can be confusing and overwhelming. Call Debbie at I Will Advisors, 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080. Debbie can educate and guide you through the many different plans, choices, and cost considerations. Will Advisors, 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080.
If you suffer with diabetes, there's a 25% chance that you'll develop a foot ulcer that can lead to severe health consequences, including amputation. At the sole authority, at little or no cost, you can receive your very own therapeutic shoes and custom inserts. Medicare recipients are entitled to 1 pair of quality diabetic shoes and 3 custom inserts. Call the sole authority today, 954-597-7060.
Have you checked your cholesterol lately? Knowing your numbers is important, especially when it comes to heart health. Any lab tests now of Boca Raton guarantee the lowest prices on all of their thousands of lab tests. Their total cholesterol panel with LDL, HDL, and triglycerides is just $49. No doctor's order or prescription is needed. No appointment either. Just stop right in, and you will be in and out in 15 minutes or less. Any lab test now of Boca Raton is located at 23016 Sandalfoot Plaza on the east side of 441, just a few doors down from Western Beef. If you have any questions, call 561-237-5009. 561-237-5009. Any lab tests now of Boca Raton. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for Dunk.
All righty. Welcome back, everyone. 24 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. You know, Scott from Cut My Kilowatts, you want to give him a call. Talk to him about how he can lower your electric bill year-round with Radiant Barrier in your attic. He works throughout the entire state of Florida, from the Panhandle to Key West, everywhere in between. And because the weather's a little cooler now, he has some big discounts because his guys can work in the attic longer. They get the job done a lot faster. It saves him a ton of money on labor costs, and he passes that savings on to you. So no matter where you are in Florida, give Scott from Cut My Kilowatts a call and lower your electric bill. That may be the highest bill I have in my house, right? In Florida? Oh, man, we use our air conditioner, all but maybe 1 or 2 days a year. Right? 954, this number rings directly to Scott's cell phone, by the way, at Cut My Kilowatts. 954-939-1500. 954-939-1500. Yeah, things are not looking good for Biden, that's good for America, good for the country. A new poll, this is a Marist poll, shows the percentage of Democrats and Democratic-leaning Americans who do not want Joe Biden to be the nominee in 2024 is higher than those who do. Oh, my goodness. 44% of these respondents say someone other than Biden has the best chance to win in 2024. Just 36% said Biden had a better chance. 50% of Republican and Republican-leading voters said Trump gives the GOP the best chance to win. 35% said the party should nominate someone else. Who are these 35% of people in the Republican Party who want to nominate someone else but President Trump? Are you people out of your mind? This is in Mediaite, which is liberal. See, again, I'm telling you, all these negative poll stories that I've been sharing with you for 2 days now are all coming from liberal sources. Yesterday was NBC's Chuck Todd, Meet the Press. This is Mediaite, which is very left-wing. The numbers are troubling for Biden, who was seen as overall approval ratings sink to the low 40s. In the Marist poll, his approval rating among all respondents was just 44%, with 49% disapproving of the way he's handling the presidency. That tracks with a recent NBC News survey that had Biden at a 42% approval rating. NBC News. These are liberal-leaning polls. There is, and you know, this is something else too. Usually, no matter who the president is, they have an advantage. right? They have an advantage because they're an incumbent. And Biden, everything with Biden, when have you heard a good poll about Biden? And this means infighting among the Democrats for the nomination. And they do not have a good bench of people. Cuomo's getting arrested. Kamala is checked out. I mean, she's just lost it. Biden's checked out. Who do they have? And here's another thing, too, about Biden. You know, don't assume he's not planning on running. Of course he is. When people, especially someone who has done what he has done his entire adult life to get to where he is, he's not just going to walk away and say, oh, you know, I might lose for the good of the country. I should step aside. Are you kidding me? Biden plans on running. He doesn't plan on... When has a sitting president in their first term announced they're not going to run and endorse someone else? Lyndon Johnson doesn't count because he finished out Kennedy's term, had his own term. And the reason that Johnson didn't run is because he knew he was going to lose because of the war. That's not a first termer technically, because he finished out Kennedy's term. Same goes for Truman. Truman finished out, he didn't run for his second own term, but he had finished out a term for Roosevelt. So it's not first term technically, okay? Those are technicalities. When has, and none of them, while they may have been corrupt, none of them as corrupt and as sleazy as Joe Biden. I don't think it's possible for a president to be more corrupt and sleazy as Joe Biden has been his entire life. So he's not going to, we're not going to get a Lyndon Johnson speech. I will not accept the nomination. No, I don't see that happening. I see Biden fighting for it. And the decision the Democrats are going to have to make, are they going to fight Biden to steal the nomination from him? This happened in 1980 with Ted Kennedy. And look how that turned out for the Democrats. So no, and Jill Biden certainly isn't going to walk away from this either. She's just as scummy as him. She's been married to him for a long time, and she raised Hunter, and look how that turned out. So no, they're going to have a fight on their hands for the nomination. And there very well may be, to Joe Biden, a Ted Kennedy to Carter, challenging for the nomination. And the Democrats went on to lose that one because of the division inside their party. All right, 1-888-GO-KANE-1, that's the number. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello?
Yes, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Joan from Virginia.
Oh, good morning, Virginia. Have you voted yet?
Back, but I'm going to wait till 10 o'clock. At 10 o'clock, there's never anybody.
Now, your husband voted for Youngkin, right?
Oh, of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
There is another subject that I'm hearing a lot about besides the school boards that people are talking about in at least my neighborhood. And that is that earlier this year, they tried to pass beside.
What I know what that means, but what specifically were they doing?
Okay. What it is if you know anything about partial birth abortion, that is legal in our state, and if they deliver too quickly, they don't get time to kill the baby as it's coming out.
Mm-hmm.
They were trying to pass to kill the children after birth. And it didn't pass, but it came close to pass.
Well, I mean, outside of like a conservative group, because I'm opposed to that, of course, I'm pro-life. But is that a big issue statewide in Virginia outside of firm Republican voters?
A lot of my liberal friends said they've gone too far.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
A lot of people, and we're older people, but, they were like, well, yeah, early, and most of these people thought before this issue came up, said it was all in the first trimester.
Well, I would think in Virginia, though, people are tired of being pushed around by Northern Virginia, where these where these Washingtonian people that work in the federal government control the politics, and you're being pushed around by these government workers from Washington, D.C. that live in Virginia. They've taken over your state and radicalized it.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. In fact, that's my biggest worry is Fairfax County.
Well, yeah.
Here, every single election, every single darn election, Fairfax County puts their votes in last.
Well, Fairfax, these government workers. This is the government workers in D.C. that work for all the different government departments. They're like 95% Democrat without question, maybe probably even higher. And they vote when they get off work and they come home at night. So they vote at the end of the day. And they've got way too much influence. But I got to tell you, the school board, I know typically a school board's not something people are concerned with outside of that school system. But I think what the Loudoun County School Board issue is beyond critical race theory. What it's really about is how much government hates the people. And when Terry McAuliffe said over the weekend, he said this, I talked to a school board member the other day, he said our school boards were fine until these people started showing up, meaning parents, concerned parents, and the government hate the people. Not just in Loudoun County, but everyone connected to the federal government hate the people.
Yeah, and that is probably the number one issue. But I heard a lot about the abortion thing, too, of them scared that we don't want them, we see what they were really trying to do. About Tucker Carlson's thing, I was watching your podcast when you said it was out, finished watching your podcast and went right to watching it. My only comment is, how is he going to cover everything in a little over an hour? It needed to be about an 8-part series, I think.
Yeah, it's less than 90 minutes. It's less. Well, we don't know what the other two parts. The first part was 26 minutes. I was expecting it to be an hour each part. I wasn't expecting it to be 26 minutes. I was a little surprised. In fact, my wife and I were going to have lunch. We watched it over lunch, because it was so quick. Yeah, I agree with you. I think what Tucker Carlson's doing with this special is getting a dialogue going. It's not about covering everything. He's getting a discussion going about it, and it is already started, and it's getting a lot of promotion from Jim Acosta, Don Lemon, and Joy Reid. They're having meltdowns over it, and the only reason for them to have meltdowns is because it's too truthful. I mean, I was blown away by it.
Yeah, I was too. Though there was nothing that really shocked me, I have to say.
What would it take to shock us these days? That is one of my pet peeves, are when people say, "Are you surprised?" or "Anything shocking here?" What we have, this is what I was talking about in the beginning of the show about this special. We have a lot of suspicions about what happened that day, and a lot of educated guesses. But what Tucker Carlson has done is brought in eyewitnesses and expert analysis of the events that prove that our suspicions are true. Right? It's like when you have a murder trial. The suspect is on trial, you believe they're guilty, you bring in experts and witnesses to prove beyond a reasonable doubt the prosecution's case. That's what Tucker Carlson's doing. It's not about being surprised that it was set up. It's seeing the details and the analysis and the witnesses proving to us that it was set up and how they did it. And that's important.
And it's also outrageous that some of this footage was never shown.
Yeah, like the MAGA people trying to stop the events throughout. Yeah. There's one or two we've seen.
I'm really happy with Alex Jones watching it last night.
They showed Alex Jones on a bullhorn trying to stop the Capitol breach. And all Alex Jones was with this MAGA Muslim guy, and they each of them had a bullhorn, and Alex Jones is in front of the crowd, trying to stop people from going to the Capitol building. You'll never see that anywhere else. Alex Jones is a lunatic and he's crazy, but he even said during his divorce that he's an actor too. And I think this clip in Tucker's special was the first time we've seen Alex Jones like in his real reasonable self saying, "Hey, stop, don't go," on a bullhorn. and you could tell he was desperately trying to stop people, Alex Jones. Yeah. All right. Hey, yeah, go ahead.
Comment. So when Biden pooped his pants,
Yes.
was that all Trump's fault?
Isn't everything Trump's fault? I believe that story. You know, a lot of people don't believe that story about Biden with the bathroom accident. I believe it.
Matter of time.
I mean, he fell asleep on TV yesterday. Come on.
It happens a lot.
Well, let's hope not. A lot of people say, well, who would know that? He has a press corps with him. And something like that happens, people 15, 20 feet away know, if you get what I'm saying. And they put it out on social media. I do believe it happened. All right, Virginia, take care. Don't forget to vote. Make sure you get out and vote today.
Oh, absolutely. I have not voted since I was 18 years old.
Okay, well, hopefully we'll be celebrating in the morning. Take care. All right, we'll take our break for the bottom of the hour. 8 minutes late. Oh, boy. We'll be right back after this. Don't go anywhere.
Brian Craig here. Advertising on The Steve Kane Show works. This is Scott, one of our sponsors from Cut My Kilowatts, talking about his experience advertising on The Steve Kane Radio Show. Hey, Scott, how are you?
I am doing great, and Brian, I gotta tell you, I am on 3 radio stations, and you guys are doing better than any of the other 2.
That's amazing.
As far as getting new clients, it's amazing. It's been amazing. We did a lady from your show yesterday, and she wants to come in there, come recording with us, and tell everybody about it. Yeah, so we did her home yesterday, and then a gentleman, Darcy, just called in today and booked an appointment for next Friday. So it's been going wonderful. You've just gone above and beyond my wildest expectations. So much for all the great help with getting me the...
Well, that's what we like to hear. You hear that, guys? He's advertising on 3 radio stations, and we're doing better for him than the other ones. That's right. That's the Steve Kane Show right here. That makes me feel good. Oh, man. Increase your company's business. Advertise on Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. Call me directly or Steve Kane, 888-465-2631. Leave a message, and I'll get back to you. 888-465-2631. And we'll be hearing about you and your business on The Steve Kane Show.
Hi, my name is Tom Laporta, the owner of Laporta Contracting, Roofing, and Restoration. We have been in the roofing and construction industry since 1982.
Branching into fantasy program, a new series from Tucker Carlson.
Contractors focusing on residential and commercial roofing, impact windows, and building restoration. The 2021 hurricane season is upon us.
Steve Kane Show.
If you noticed any water stains on your ceiling, or if your roof is older than 15 years, you will want to call us to come out and evaluate your roof. Our services run from minor repairs to complete new roof systems. We install every kind of roof, from regular asphalt shingles, clay or concrete tiles, standing metal seam, wood shakes, and slate tile systems. Call us at 954-604-4602 for a free home inspection and estimate. Again, that number is 954-604-4602.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call.
I am sitting. I don't usually sit down too much, but my feet are hurting today.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for Doug.
All right, we are back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. Steve will be joining us at the top of the hour. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. Let's go to Richie, the bus driver. Hey, Richie.
Yeah, good morning, Brian. I'd like to talk about the biggest cult in the world right now. Can I do that? I'm looking. You remember Christopher Columbus, that when he took out those 3 ships, that he was condemned in Europe?
Mm-hmm.
This man is crazy because all of Europe thought that the world was flat. Now we have all these old cockers, I call them, over in Scotland with the world's biggest hoax on the population of the world with this climate crap. This is such a... You going to believe AOC that she's got the knowledge that the world is going to end in 9 years? Why isn't there resistance to this stuff? Everyone that says that they're full of crap, they're called climate deniers.
Well, 2 years ago, she said we had what, 12 years? So now we got 10 years? Or is it 9 years? You know, there was did you see the video of her and her boyfriend on Halloween, AOC? I was watching this on Twitter yesterday. She dressed up as one of the Ghostbusters. You know, that's just when in Congress, someone that dresses up like a child. But she was showing her boyfriend. Her boyfriend is the most, I mean, she's the man in that family, in that relationship. She's the man. I mean, I've never seen such an effeminate, straight man in my life in a relationship. I felt bad for him.
The Chinese are not there. The Indians and people from India, the Indians aren't there. Russia's not there. All we have is the guy from England. The timer's completely run out here. I mean, this.
Well, you can make the case Biden wasn't there either since he was asleep.
Yeah, they just want to control everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a big religion, and it's a fuck.
It's not it's a religion among, you know, some of them, but what it is, you know, the reason that these countries like us reducing our carbon footprint is because the United States is the #1 largest economy in the world. And when we reduce our carbon emissions, we reduce the size of our economy, which makes them bigger in comparison than they are now because we reduce it. And plus, the United States gives them billions of dollars in money, too. It's a scam. It's more of a scam than a cult, than a religion.
Affecting everybody here. What do you think we're getting paying for this gas because this crazy man in the White House believes in this? All these Democrats believe. I'm telling you, this is, and there are a lot of Republicans that believe in this. There is absolutely no evidence. I wish there would be some resistance to this. Put people, scientists out, because these people are totally wrong.
Well, I remember Newt Gingrich did, when he first left Congress, did a television commercial that he was paid for with Nancy Pelosi on climate change. It's a big lie. When I was growing up, they were in the 70s, and even, you know, I remember even when Bill Clinton became president, they were talking about global cooling. You know, remember that El Nino era, and they would. This was when Bill Clinton was president. They were talking about the coming ice age.
But they said that New York would be underwater by the year 2000.
Yeah.
I mean, this is so outrageously, they're fake, but they control our energy. If they control the energy, they control you as a person, and it's really outrageous.
Well, the question is, how long are they going to control it? Wesley, $5 super chat. Everyone thank Wesley. Thank you.
Because there's no such thing as man-made global warming.
It's complete crap. Yeah, it's complete crap. It's complete crap. All right, Richie, take care. Thanks for the call. Now, so, you know, I was talking about Tucker Carlson's special, Patriot Purge, and the liberal meltdown of it. I just looked at the clock. Let me take a break so we can be on time. Let me take the break. We'll come back, and I'm going to share something with you. This explains exactly what it is I'm talking about. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. On the radio since 1977. We'll take our last break of the second hour and be right back after this.
Here, Conservative Doug called me up live on the air to tell me about his experience at Friendly Tire.
I had 2 bow ties in the back of my Infiniti. I called them up. I really check prices first. Half the price of everybody else.
Half the price? Half the price at Friendly Tire. Wow.
Half the price. And not only that, his tires, which the tires I was looking at, had any mileage guarantee. His is 60,000-mile warranty. So they're not only half the price, they're twice as good.
So you're a repeat customer over there at Friendly Tire. You bought new tires, right? So you bought new tires, because they also sell used tires, starting at just $30 for most sizes. But you bought new tires, and they were half the price at Friendly Tire than at the other tire shops around town. That is phenomenal, and came with a 60,000-mile warranty on the tires. That's great. And of course, Friendly Tire, they never charge you to mount the tire, balance the tire, or dispose of your old tires. The price that they give you are out the door and on the road. And
Rick, everybody should go there. I don't know how anybody can buy tires anyplace else. This guy is the best prices.
That's right. That's right. Listen, give Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire a call. His number, 954-977-9445. He'll give you a quote right over the phone, 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net, or you can just stop right in. The address is listed at stevekaneshow.com. 5415 Northwest 15th Street in Margate, and that's just a little north of Coconut Creek Parkway on the east side of 441 State Road 7. Well,
Conservative Doug, thanks so much, and I'm glad you got such a great deal on your tires at Friendly Tire in Margate.
Steve Kane radio listeners love Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca.
I went over to Champagne Automotive, and I gotta say that this man is the most fair mechanic I have dealt with in my entire life. We took a car over there that was not being used yet. You know, it belonged to my 90-year-old dad. Everybody I had taken it to before was charging an astronomical amount of money. But when we took it over there, Eddie took a look at it, and I gotta say that this man fixed the car running like a charm. Anybody that needs a mechanic, I strongly recommend Eddie, and he is just the best thing that's happened to this family as far as car maintenance goes. It's fixed. Bottom line, it's fixed, and the price was right.
Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca will never do a repair on your car that your car doesn't need. And their prices are low. Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca. Give them a call. 561-245-8101. 561-245-8101.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for
Hey guys, welcome back. Yes, I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. Steve will be joining us in the 8 o'clock hour. Okay, so I was talking about Tucker Carlson's special Patriot Purge, and I want to play for you just a little bit of a montage here of liberals in the mainstream media and their reaction to Patriot Purge before it even aired. This was just their reaction when they saw the trailer.
Carlson has created a terrorist recruitment video.
Fox TV branching into fantasy programming. A new series from Tucker Carlson traffics in conspiracy theories surrounding the insurrection on January 6th.
Tucker Carlson attempting to rewrite history around the January 6th insurrection.
Tucker Carlson makes a tribute video to the terrorists.
Tucker Carlson is hitting a new low, completely rewriting the history of the Capitol insurrection in a way that defies belief.
Tuckums previewed a documentary that goes beyond the usual Daughters of the Confederacy rewrite of the January 6th insurrection to shameless lying and conspiracy mockery. Tucker Carlson is leaning way in to disinformation regarding January 6th, and it's kind of terrifying because what he's putting out there is just going to lead to more violence.
It might be Tucker Carlson's most
Acosta.
dangerous moment yet. Fox News' right-wing host is taking his assault on democracy to terrifying new heights in a brand new series promising to tell the truth, he says, about January 6th. It actually appears to be nothing but a war on the truth.
It's filled with lies about what led to the riot and the prosecution of the rioters, and even includes a blatantly false assertion that the Capitol riot was a, quote, false flag operation.
False flag. Anytime you don't like what your people did,
CNN.
you claim there was a false flag.
Tucker is peddling some deeply dangerous propaganda that the insurrection was actually a false flag operation.
What Carlson is doing is unforgivable and really just horrible. I want to say criminal, but technically that's not true, although maybe it should be.
Tucker Carlson is inciting violence. Isn't this just an incitement to another January 6th? Is that what Tucker Carlson wants?
What Tucker Carlson is doing is going against
Lemon.
American people.
The Murdoch family, which controls Fox, is cashing in as American democracy is being set ablaze.
Why does Rupert Murdoch want to destroy America?
The Murdochs and Tucker Carlson, their primetime pyromaniac, appear to be hell-bent on dragging this country into a civil war. Jefferson Davis would be proud.
Okay. Yeah. So, Democrat. He quotes a Democrat there. So you can tell that was a reaction with just the trailer coming out. That was before any of them had seen it. And you know, the audio, you can hear their absurdities, and you don't get to see them as I do. Although I did tweet that. So if you follow me on Twitter, you can find and watch the video. The look on their faces is very telling. Each one of those liberals, it was CNN, MSNBC, the Young Turks. Some of them were even never Trump or Republicans. They're angry. This special has made them angry because it's interfering with their narrative about January 6th. And there is no one who needs support like Tucker Carlson. You know, I read this morning that Dan Bongino is going to be off the radio again all week this week. And I was talking about this last week, and Dan Bongino is saying that he is standing up and not doing his radio show because the company that syndicates his radio show has the mandate, and they're letting people go, laying people off, firing people over the mandate. And he's vaccinated, by the way, Bongino. And I was telling you that last week that I think Bongino is trying to get out of his radio contract, that it's too much. He's doing too much. His TV show and his podcast, and he's a pundit. And doing all three of those things with the radio show for 3 hours in the middle of the day is too much for him. And what he's doing on Fox may be more lucrative. And he's doing something else I did not know until yesterday. He does a show every day on the Fox Nation app, separate from his radio show, separate from his podcast, separate from being a pundit. He's got another show that he does on Fox Nation every day. And I'm a fan of Bongino. I support Bongino. I like him a lot. But I think he's being dishonest, maybe with himself, but he's certainly being dishonest about this. What he's trying to do is get out of the radio show and do it in a way that makes it look as if he did it for a good reason, for an honorable reason, as opposed to just quitting, or maybe he doesn't have an out since he just started doing it. Maybe there's no out in his contract. He's trying to get them to fire him. I don't know what's going to happen. He didn't do a show last week. He's off this week so far. The reports are he's not going to do the show at all this week over the mandates. We'll find out what happens. But he's definitely trying to get fired. And if that's the case, they may never fire him. They may never fire him. And, you know, that he may not even care about that contract, because the contract that he has with them that's a non-compete portion might just be for radio and will allow him to continue to do all his other things. I'm not saying that the issue that he's talking about is a bad position to take. I'm not necessarily saying that. But wait a second. Oh, no. Okay. I got nervous for a second. I got a message from somebody. Made me nervous. But I'm not nervous now. All right, listen. Our number is 1-888-GO-CANE-1. It's a toll-free call from anywhere. 1-888-465-2631. Well, you know, doing a radio show in the middle of the day is a drag when he's doing 2 shows already a day. Okay? So that's why I say he's trying to get out of it. 1-888-465-2631. Now, there has been such a cultural shift attempt by the left in this country in so many ways, and they've had some success. I mean, it used to be, you know, that we used to talk about the culture war all the time, but it's more sinister now, because even during those days there were some particular issues. There was abortion and gay rights were the big issues during the culture war period, like in the 80s and 90s, you know, during the days of the Christian Coalition. Now it's not just an isolated issue or two the left are fighting. They are fighting to change American culture. Did you see this story out of Philadelphia about the police? Listen to this. The city of Philadelphia, which is a rough town. I like Philadelphia. I've been there, but it's a rough town. The city of Philadelphia will ban police officers from making routine traffic stops to promote what they're describing as driving equity, making it the first major American city to cease stopping motorists for broken taillights and other minor issues. Now, first off, let me tell you, a burned out taillight is dangerous. You see a burned out taillight on the road and it's night, you may not be able to see what's in front of you. It's a very dangerous thing. So you can't be pulled over for a burned out taillight anymore. I've been pulled over for that. I've been pulled over for a burned out taillight. The driving equity bill, which was passed by the Philadelphia City Council already, could be signed as early as this week, reports the New York Post. The driving equity bill package would classify vehicle registration infractions, which include broken brake lights, not adhering to inspection regulations. They got to do vehicle inspections in Pennsylvania still. Meaning police will be prohibited from pulling motorists over if certain traffic infractions are observed. The measure is aimed at easing tensions between police and black Philadelphians. Well, do they think that only black people have burned out taillights? The measure is aimed at easing tensions between the police and black Philadelphians, who are more likely to be stopped by police. Well, why is that? Maybe, is it a majority black city? According to data analyst by the Defender Association of Philadelphia, black drivers, who make up 48% of Philadelphia's population, were pulled over in 72% of the 300,000 traffic stops between October 2018 and September 2019, according to the group, adds the Post. Well, you know, part of that could be that, and it's not just an ethnic breakdown, a skin color breakdown. There's a financial background breakdown. And people that are lower income are more likely to have minor problems with their vehicles that they don't take care of, right? Not getting them inspected. If you have an older, we used to have inspections in Florida. We don't have them anymore, thankfully. But there were a lot of people, they would have older cars, people of lower income, they couldn't pass inspections, and they would find ways around it. If you see cars with broken or burned out tail lights, brake lights, that's more likely an older car where people are lower income and they don't take care of the maintenance on their vehicle like they should. It's not a racial thing necessarily, but the cultural shift is this, and we're seeing this. Now, this thing in Philadelphia seems minor, but we've seen this in other places around the country. There are crimes that the police are no longer allowed to enforce, like the shoplifting. Out on the West Coast, certain number of shoplifting is not a crime. It can't be stopped. And there have been videos online of shoplifters actually adding up what they're stealing so it falls under the threshold of being arrested. And then they walk right out the front door with a bag full of stolen goods. And they can do that all day, and some of them do. So there's been a big change in taking crime. They start with the smaller crimes and say, oh, we can't arrest for that anymore. We can't stop for that anymore. And then eventually they'll start to work up to more severe. And I like how they say this is about racial equity. So it's really the left saying that blacks are more likely to commit crimes than white people, because they say it's about racial equity. What do they say? So that's exactly right. They're saying blacks are more likely to commit crime than white people. All right, listen, we're coming up on the top of the hour break. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. Hopefully Steve's studio will be up and running again today. We had a technical problem yesterday, but we did get it fixed yesterday morning after the show. Let's see. Hopefully it is still fixed. Steve will be joining us in the next hour. Our number, toll free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. I just want to say one thing though before I break about the tail light. Ted Bundy, who is arguably the most famous serial killer in American history. He's certainly in the top 2, but I think Bundy's the top serial killer. Remember how they caught Bundy? In Philadelphia, I guess, were any Bundy victims from Philly? I guess not. They caught Bundy in his Volkswagen because he had a burned out taillight. He had a burned out taillight, and Bundy got stopped in a routine traffic stop with a burned out taillight. How many lives did that save? How many more people would Bundy have gone on to kill if they didn't pull him over with that burned out taillight? That's right. Ted Bundy. All right, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. That's the number. 888-465-2631. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. We'll be right back.
Covered AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Seniors, Medicare can be confusing and overwhelming. National insurance companies, not just a single carrier. Get the right coverage for you. Call Debbie at I Will Advisors, 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080.
Hi, this is Lori Kane, and I want to talk to you about Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental Care. I just love Dr. Gupta. I've been seeing him for around 3 years. He always has time for me. He never does unnecessary work, and his prices are very affordable. And if you need implants, go go see him because he has the best prices around. Let me give you the number. Write it down. It's 954-922-4633. That's 954-922-4633. BrightonDentalCare.com. He's just the best.
Hi, my name is Tom Laporta, the owner of Laporta Contracting, Roofing, and Restoration. We have been in the roofing and construction industry since 1982. We are state of Florida certified roofing and general contractors focusing on residential and commercial roofing, impact windows, and building restoration. The 2021 hurricane season is upon us. If you have noticed any...
I'll watch Patriot Purge Part 2 today.
If your roof is older than 15 years, you will want to call us.
And then I'll give a review of Part 2 on my podcast today. I got a big interview on my podcast today. Hopefully. I'm not going to tell you who in case it gets rescheduled. That happens sometimes. But I got a pretty big interview today.
Call us at 954-604-4602 for a free home inspection and estimate. Again, that number is...
I've let my hair grow out, so I got to adjust my hat to fit the... my head's a little bigger because I got more hair.
That can lead to severe health consequences, including amputation. At the sole authority...
No, it's on the Fox News app, Maryland, Fox Nation.
Receive your very own therapeutic shoes and custom inserts. Medicare recipients are entitled to 1 pair of quality diabetic shoes and 3 custom inserts. Call the sole authority today, 954-597-7060.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing?
Yeah, I know. I'll get a haircut sometime this week. I've just been so busy, I haven't had a chance to get a haircut.
From Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA.
I'm going for the Steve Bannon look, you know? Sloppy.
You are listening to South Florida's longest radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll-free, dial 1-888-COCAINE 1. That's 1-888-COCAINE 1. And now, here's...
All right, hour number 3 has begun already. It seems like I just said hello. It's 4 minutes after 8. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. We have Steve Kane with us. Hopefully the studio is back up and running. Good morning, Steve. Oh, that would be a big no. That would be a big no. Can't hear Steve. I'm going to have to call you, Steve, during the break because you cannot be heard. So I don't know if you can hear me, but I cannot hear you. All right, no, I got everything in order here, so I don't know what's going on. So Steve's studio is still out of commission. So, oh well, we'll get it working. If not, I'll get him on the phone during the break. Let me just text them over there. Hold on. I'm texting them over there at the Steve Kane Cooper City studio. Okay, all right, welcome back. Third hour has begun. If you've just tuned in, you have missed a lot. Oh my goodness, have you missed a lot? But I'm gonna recap some of the issues I've talked about before I bring up some new ones because there's so much going on. One, it looks like even Terry McAuliffe is expecting Youngkin to win. Okay, and it looks very much like Youngkin is going to be victorious today in Virginia. I truly hope so. And I say that for a couple reasons, not just because I want him to defeat Terry McAuliffe. I want the Democrats to lose. Of course I want that. But I see what's going on out there, right? You see these polls that are coming out from NBC News and elsewhere, Mediaite. You see all these polls coming out from liberal places, and they're negative to the Democrats. They would not be putting out negative polling information if they weren't pretty confident they were going to lose. Okay? And what they're doing is they're preparing their viewers, they're preparing their audience, and they're also doing a little bit of trying to change the narrative a little bit. In fact, the network coverage of the Virginia race is pretty much zero. I'm not talking about the cable news. I'm talking about the nightly news, like zero coverage on the nightly news. It's like it's a non-event because they know a McAuliffe defeat would be the first domino to fall as we move into the midterm election season. So they're already backing off on their coverage. If they thought they were going to have a victory out there, they would have a lot of coverage going on. And the other thing is the strange behavior of Terry McAuliffe. Now, to me, he seems drunk half the time on TV. I'm not saying he's drunk. I'm just saying he seems intoxicated a lot. And this most recent comment of his that he says, we have too many white teachers in Virginia, and you know what we have to do about that. And then he goes on to explain how if you are black and want to come to Virginia to teach, that they'll pay for everything. They will not only pay you your full teacher's salary, they'll pay for your education and your room and board too. And when he says we have too many white teachers and you know what we have to do about that, what Terry McAuliffe is doing is trying to lose at this point. He's seen the internal polls. They're so bad. They're so devastating for him. He wants to go out as if he lost, but he did it on his terms. Like, okay, I lost, but I did it because I stood up and took the position on the uncomfortable issues, and these racists at these school board meetings that we've seen, they just couldn't have it. So Terry McAuliffe's trying to act like he wants to lose. And his behavior is very strange. McAuliffe even canceled a campaign rally yesterday at the last minute with no explanation given. So every sign shows that the Democrats are expecting to lose in Virginia today. And let's hope so. I mean, let's really, truly hope so. We need this. And with Biden's bill not passing, it is sure not to pass. It's certainly not in a form that they want it to pass in if we win in Virginia today. This is going to be such a unique period because I don't know of another first-term president that has been so weakened in their first year like this guy. There'll be no more Biden agenda. And then we have these other polls I went through. A poll of Democrats, no Republicans, a poll of Democrats, more Democrats want someone else to get the nomination other than Biden in 2024 than want him to get the nomination. So they have a candidate that even the majority of their voters don't want to get the nomination in 2024. He's not going to walk away from it. I think he's going to go for it. I really do. He doesn't care. Joe Biden has never cared about the appearances of things throughout his entire career. What makes you think he's going to all of a sudden care? He's always behaved like he's behaving now. You just didn't notice it as much because he was the senator from Delaware, or he was in the background as the vice president. But he was always a train wreck, and he ran again and again and always had success. He's not going to walk away from this power and influence and the deals that he's making for his family. So the Democrats have major division in their party, even for the nomination, which is unheard of in the first term of a president. It happened with Jimmy Carter. There was a national crisis, but even that failed, and it divided the party, where it took them really quite. They didn't come back from that. When the Democrats had division in 1980 over the failures of Jimmy Carter, they didn't come back until Bill Clinton in 1992. And we're in that kind of position right now, which is a good thing. And if Youngkin wins tonight, hopefully we'll know tonight. I'd like to know before I go on the air tomorrow. It'll make tomorrow's show a little easier if we know the outcome. But it's not going to be long until you see President Trump on TV either congratulating Youngkin or maybe even with Youngkin himself. You know, and this victory is something we really need to get our movement even a little more energized. It's going to be a big game changer. And I'll tell you how they're walking away from it. I went to, let me go to CNN's website. I mean, this is a huge election. And remember, you know, being Virginia, it's got a lot of Washington connections to it. And I go to CNN, and the story is buried. They've got a story on vaccines. The lead story is about a girl in Afghanistan. And they've got 3, 4, 5 stories about Afghanistan. So it's about the 6th, 7th, 8th story out of on CNN's front page is about the Virginia race. And the headline is interesting. It's analysis. It says what Virginia's election says about the nation. So even with that, that's a negative headline. That's a headline on CNN. It's like the 7th story down, and it's not even a news story. It's analysis that is really saying Youngkin's support and his popularity says bad things about the country. So everything you see from the left shows big, big promise in Virginia. Now, before we break, I just want to tell you quickly about something that happened to me, and then I'm going to go to the phone. I'm going to go to the phone during the break and call Steve and get him on the phone because his studio is still out of commission. Although we got it fixed yesterday, so something happened between we getting it fixed and today. I don't know what's going on, but we'll figure it out. Now, those of you that follow me on YouTube, you know I'm always making YouTube videos and live streaming, and I was over Saturday morning at Fort Lauderdale Beach. I did a live stream on YouTube watching the sunrise. I was there about 6:30 in the morning until about 8:30. And as soon as I left, I shut off the live stream, and I'm walking back to my car on A1A, and I was over on A1A and Sunrise Boulevard. I parked next to that 24-hour pizza place over there, guys, if you guys that know the Fort Lauderdale Beach area. And I'm walking down the sidewalk on A1A, and this group of gay bicyclists, there are about 50, 60 guys in this bicycling, and I can tell they're gay because they got, you know, rainbow stuff all over them. Two of the guys start yelling and calling me names because I'm wearing a MAGA hat. The first one rode by and said, "Take off that effing hat, you a-hole." And I know, isn't that nice? And the next guy called me a mother effer and said something about the hat too. And, you know, I know it happened in Fort Lauderdale Beach Saturday morning. This was about 8:30 in the morning. And I bring this up for a couple of reasons. One, these gay bicyclists, even though they're calling me a mother effer and an a-hole, which maybe some of you have called me from time to time, that's okay, but they're doing this to a random person on the street just because I'm wearing my Make America Great Again hat. Even though they're doing that, they think that they are the tolerant ones. They think I'm the intolerant one. I'm just minding my own business, walking to my car, and I'm being verbally assaulted by gay men on the street because of my baseball cap I'm wearing. It says Make America Great Again. But they think I'm the hater, right? They think they're the tolerant ones. They're totally whacked out. Now, one guy, and they yelled at me loud. I mean, they were flipping out, these guys. One guy came up behind me, kind of made me nervous. I jumped a little bit because I'd just been verbally assaulted by these gay bicyclists. And he said, "Hey, I like your hat. Don't let these guys bother you." And I was like, okay. I was a little on guard. But here's the other thing. Where I was at is a tourist location. Most of the people there are tourists from all over America, all over the world. You know, I very well could have been a tourist here with my family. And you go around, these Saturday morning pride cyclists go around using language like that to tourists or around tourists. And there were other people around me who were not locals, you could tell are tourists, who were visiting. They heard what happened and they looked back and looked at me and everything. You do that to tourists, that's not very good for Florida. If I were a tourist, I may never come back to Florida being treated that way by these pride bicyclists in their bicycle pants. Nothing would get me to wear bicycle pants. There's no point to it. I know they got some extra padding. I don't need it. I'll sit on the seat before I wear that spandex. All right, listen, enough of that. We'll take our first break of the last hour. When we come back, we'll take some more calls, and I'll call Steve up. We'll have Steve via telephone today. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE, 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. We'll be back right after this.
Hi, my name is Tom Laporta, the owner of Laporta Contracting, Roofing and Restoration. We have been in the roofing and construction industry since 1982. We are state of Florida certified roofing and general contractors focusing on residential and commercial roofing, impact windows, and building restoration.
You there? Yeah, what's wrong with the computer? Well, yesterday, let me see if I can hear you. No, nothing. Hold on. You got to talk. Make some noise. Yes, I think I got you. Hold on. Let me put you on hold. Talk when I put you on hold. Okay. All right. No, I got you on the computer now. So you got put on the computer headset. Yeah, you're far away from the mic. You don't have the headset on. Okay. All right. Bye.
4602.
Hey guys, Brian Craig here. I have the MyPillow slippers, and Mike Lindell, he's right. These are the most comfortable slippers I've ever worn. And you can get them for 40% off at MyPillow.com with the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. One of our listeners called in on the air and told us about his experience with the MyPillow My Slippers.
Brian, I have the MyPillow slippers, and I have neuropathy. These are fantastic slippers.
Really? Which ones do you have? Which style do you have?
The fur-lined one.
Oh, the slip-on fur-lined ones?
Yeah, inside, outside.
What is neuropathy, and what are the symptoms?
Well, the nerves in your feet start going bad, and it affects your balance, and it's painful.
So you're wearing the MyPillow My Slippers, which, by the way, 40% off with the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, and it's helped with your neuropathy.
Yes, it is. It's much. I have to wear slippers at home. I can't go barefoot or even with socks on.
Wow.
So I have to wear that. And I also have the MyPillow pillow and the MyPillow mattress topper and the.
That mattress topper is unbelievable, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Oh, man.
My wife loves it.
Oh, man. I know, they're all great. Yeah, I know. And by the way, when you use the promo code KANE at checkout, 40% off the MyPillow slippers, 30% off the MyPillow mattress topper, and you get 2 free MyPillows with it. So it's great. Well, that's awesome. Order your MyPillow My Slippers 40% off with the promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E, at MyPillow.com. Or call 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code KANE, K-A-N-E.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for it.
All right, we're back. I think we got Steve with us. Good morning, Steve.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
All right, I got you. It's working now. It's working now.
Important show of the year.
Oh, we're on the eve of winning Virginia. I've already heard from Virginia voters on the phone that are voting for Youngkin, so things are looking good.
I had a couple of things that I've been listening to that I wanted to comment on. I'm surprised that Richie, the bus driver, usually on political matters very astute, and he's got a real good grip of what's going on. But somehow he missed it today when he wanted to know when there's going to be a reaction, when somebody's going to speak up about the global warming hoax.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that?
Yep.
I would say Richie somehow missed it. It happened yesterday when Joe Manchin got up and blew Biden's budget plan, or whatever it is, out of the water, saying he wouldn't vote for it under any circumstances at this time in this form. And he made it clear he wasn't about to change his mind. So all the Republicans have spoken out against it, and plus Biden and
now we got a Democrat, too. Yeah. Well, when he said he wouldn't support it right now, what does that?
Today.
Yeah.
They had hoped if they could pass it, that it might ignite a spark of excitement in their negotiations with the other Democrats on the committee, and that Biden might be able to go in with his plan accepted, but he wasn't going to.
They want to see what if Biden loses in Virginia today. They're saying he's done. Yeah.
When Biden loses in Virginia today, not just loses, when he humiliated. I followed your advice yesterday. I was
Steve Kane Show.
To CNN and
Hey, Barry.
MSNBC a little bit, and there was, I don't know what it is. Everybody's afraid to take a position. Like, if they're wrong, they're going to be a laughing stock. But he was saying that.
Yeah. I don't mind being wrong. I don't want to be wrong, but if it happens, it happens.
No one wanted to say the truth. And the truth is, it's going to be a decisive victory. What's going to happen is the first vote to come in that they're going to count is going to be the absentee ballots, and
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Decent lead. People are going to be. Don't get suicidal and don't get hysterical when that happens, because they count the.
Yeah, and they want to use that to discourage the after work voters. Yeah. Now, do you know what time the polls close tonight? Do they close at 7 or 8? If anyone knows, please let us know. Now it's time.
People spoke out yesterday, loud and clear in the Congress, both the Senate and the House. They don't want to have anything to do with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and Manchin is they haven't been able to get their Democrats on board. Now it's time to check in with Attorney Barry Siegel. And Barry Siegel, good morning from the Siegel Law Group.
Good morning. How are you guys doing today?
We're great. We're great.
Excellent. Yesterday, I had a lady call me. Her mother's in a nursing home, and her mother still owned the real estate. And so this lady just had questions about what her options were as far as what to do with the real estate. But as we got into the conversation, I realized that they were private paying for the nursing home, spending thousands and thousands of dollars every month, and they had no idea that there was an option to get government benefits, to get Medicaid to cover the majority of the cost. And so as we got into that conversation, they realized that they were going to be able to get some aid from spending down. The lady had, she was down to less than $100,000, been spending a lot of money for quite some time, spending down her assets on the cost of the nursing home. While it would have been better had she known well in advance to have protected the money that she had spent, at least now we're going to be able to protect the money that she still has. And, so that quick question that she had about the real estate turned into protecting her mom's assets and allowing her to not have to run out of money and feel like she could potentially be
Well, that's interesting because you said down to $100,000, which means she had a lot more than that. So that means that people think, well, I've got too much money, I'm worth too much to qualify for any help for at-home or nursing home care, and that obviously is not the case.
Okay, so people can have, first of all, a person who needs care can have $2,000 of countable assets, where the spouse, if there's one, can have a hair over $130,000. You could also have the home. You could have rental property. You can have your retirement account if it's set up properly. So there are assets that you can have, and even if you're over in the countable asset categories, there are ways that you can protect those assets and shelter them so you could still qualify.
Wow. Well, listen, guys, that's why you need to call the Siegel Law Group. Because they know the ins and outs of this. The Siegel Law Group, Attorney Barry Siegel, they have an entire team at the Siegel Law Group that deals specifically with this kind of issue. Give them a call. Obviously, a completely free consultation. If you mention you heard them on the Steve Kane Show, the number toll-free, 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782, and online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, Barry, we'll talk to you later in the week. All right, take care. That's some good information there. Now, there were two things, if you're on hold, stand by. There were two things that happened yesterday with Terry McAuliffe that are bad news. One, in the middle of the day, without notice nor explanation, Terry McAuliffe canceled a rally. Didn't cancel it. Just canceled it. No notice. No explanation. Day before the election.
From what I understand, his rallies have been very partially attended.
Well, yeah, but if they got TV cameras there that don't show the crowds, and he still canceled at last minute. Another thing. Some reporters were trying to ask him questions, and I saw video of this online this morning on Twitter. He was taking a selfie with some guy, and reporters started asking him questions, and Terry McAuliffe's staff roughed up the reporters, pushing them back, doing crowd control. They didn't even want him to be asked a question. Probably that thing of
losing it.
Meltdown. total meltdown in the McAuliffe camp.
Off again.
Yeah. Were they ever on? All right, let's take some calls, though. Our number is toll-free 1-888-GO-CANE-1. You're on the radio. Good morning.
Good morning, Brian. How are you, my friend?
All right, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Elliot in Miami.
Elliot in Miami. What's up?
Listen, I was watching the Youngkin rally last night. It was awesome, man. It was awesome. He's like a mini Trump. He plays all the music, a lot of people there. It was wonderful. I really, really, really hope this guy wins today, man. You know, it's the curse of Trump. Basically, everybody who was ragging on him, they're going down one by one.
Mm-hmm. Who? You cut out on me there. What was that last part?
But I'm not a big fan, and it's the curse of Trump. Anybody who was messing with him. And
well, you know, Alec Baldwin, his behavior the last couple days, he's in trouble. And, you know, I played the audio of that street interview yesterday. Well, if you look at his behavior, that audio I played from the street interview, he looks nervous as hell. And he's a damn fine actor, and he can't cover it up. And he went out trick-or-treating with the kids like a normal Halloween. Last night, he and his wife went out to an exclusive restaurant and ate in front of the window like life hasn't changed for them. He's behaving just in a very strange way.
He's a mess.
He's scared.
He looks like a mess, but I just want to let...
Well, we love you too. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We love all our listeners except Al the John. We don't love him, but everybody else we love, right? All right, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. It's a toll-free call. 1-888-465-2631.
Al the things have gotten so bad. We haven't heard from Al the John in a week or two.
Yeah. Even Al the John can't stand up for Terry McAuliffe and Biden.
Will survive.
Well, there was this new poll I went over earlier. More Democrats want someone other than Biden to get the nomination than Biden. No. Democrats, more Democrats want another person to get the nomination instead of Biden? I don't think so. And they released that poll? No, that's a shock.
Get already in what's going on in politics. If I was a Democrat, the thought of Biden running again, he said, by the way, I don't understand, I was going to comment on this, I don't understand your thinking when you think he's going to run again. I don't think he's going to make it to the end of his term. If I had to...
Yeah. Not just baseball. Football.
Going to finish it. Falling apart in front of our eyes.
He would have to resign. Why would he resign? Steve, he fell asleep on worldwide television live yesterday. He had a bathroom accident in his pants before he met with the Pope.
While addressing the...
No, right before the meeting with the Pope, it was held up. He claimed he's released a statement saying he was held up in the elevator or something. I don't know, something strange. So this guy's not gonna... Why would he resign? He's gotten away with everything his entire career. He's always been a sleaze.
But he understands this is different. I mean, I tell you, I'm on the verge of feeling sorry for him.
Never.
Give me.
Remember how nasty he used to be? When he was in the Senate, he was one of the senators. Now you see Schumer comes out in the hallway to talk to the press. Biden used to do that. He was the lead guy, and he was always the nastiest. He was one of the nastiest people ever in the Senate.
But I wouldn't wish what he's going through on anybody.
He brought it on himself. He didn't have to run for president.
There's no question of that. But still, you feel bad. You think he's having a good time? You got to be kidding me.
Well, this thing about the poll, though. No, this is huge news. What was the question? Oh, yeah, he's having a great time.
You think he's having a great time?
Oh, yeah. Steve, he has spent... Let me tell you.
Listen, you're a performer. You know what it is to work sick. There's nothing
Oh yeah.
getting on the air or having to perform when you're sick. He's sick all the time.
But he's corrupt, and every second he's in office is more money he can steal or sell his office out for. So no. Like this art scam. Doesn't help, but no, he's doing it for the money. That's all he cares about. Now listen, before we break for the bottom of the hour, we got a huge announcement. Mike Lindell had his office do something that just blew my mind on Friday. We talked about this yesterday. They gave the Steve Kane Show our own section at the MyPillow website, which is typically reserved for like Sean Hannity and people like that. And I'm very honored that they did that. And the reason they did that is not just because of Steve and myself, but because this audience has shown so much support for Mike Lindell and all of his efforts that they did this for you, and they put together our own section of the website, which is mypillow.com/Kane, mypillow.com/KANE, where they have deals that are even lower than elsewhere on the website. Okay, now make sure you use our promo code Kane when you go there. But the MyPillow mattress topper, which rid me of back pain last week, 50% off with the promo code Kane. 50% off for every size, too. From twin, the RV Queen, Queen, King, California King, whatever you got, they've got the mattress topper, and it's 50% off. That's a better deal than I got on mine, okay? The MyPillow My Slippers, I have these myself, 50% off with the promo code Kane. 50% off. This is the biggest discounts ever on these items. These all make great, not just gifts for yourself, but great holiday and Christmas gifts too. The MyPillow towel set, normally $110, just $39.99 with our promo code Kane. The MyPillow itself, 75% off the MyPillow itself. These are great deals. The sale of the year, the 100% Giza Cotton Dream Sheets, buy one set, get a second set free with the promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. So go to mypillow.com/Kane, mypillow.com/Kane, use our promo code Kane, Kane, and take advantage of those deals. These are great deals, and it is holiday shopping season time. You can also order by phone. Call 800-716-4879, 800-716-4879, promo code Kane, Kane. We'll be right back after this.
Hi, my name is Tom Laporta, the owner of Laporta Contracting.
Yeah, and those of you in the YouTube chat, I put a link to our MyPillow page. I pinned it to the top of the chat. It's a great way for you guys to support the show who are out of town, even out of the country, and can't support our local sponsors. You can support us and support Mike Lindell at the same time if you use our promo code Kane. And of course, we will all appreciate that. Hey guys, make sure you all like the video. You know, when you like the video, it tells the YouTube algorithm to recommend this video to people that think like us and enjoy this kind of content. So liking the video really, really helps. All right, we're back. I'm Brian, Steve Kane here, 36 minutes after. You know, this governor's race in Virginia, if Youngkin wins, it's a huge victory lap for Republicans, and we use that in the midterm elections. If Democrats win, it's not like a big victory to them. We got lucky here, you know? So I don't, you know, this is a big one for us. But what if we don't win? Is it going to be considered a big?
It's a turning point.
Yeah, yeah, for the country.
This is the day. This is the election that they're all going to look back on as the place where it became evident that Biden's not going to get reelected, and that, and frankly, that Trump is going to win.
Yeah. Now, I'm not following New Jersey at all, so I really can't speak on New Jersey. So, for the Democrat. Yeah, so that one, okay, they're going to get that one. Than that.
Anybody expects it.
Yeah. But Virginia, because where the school board is, the Loudoun School Board, this is where everyone's looking. Because the school board has, just pissed people off. I heard one dad interviewed yesterday, and he never followed politics, never was involved in politics, and then last year, when they were doing the Zoom school at home, he saw the lessons that his kid was being taught, from the regular classroom, and he was appalled. And I think that's true with a lot of people. And Ari Fleischer, who is usually right, and he, on his analysis of everything, he's predicting about a 4.7, 5-point win for Youngkin, and he says it's the parents. The parents in Virginia have woken up. And he calls it an anti-woke movement.
By the way, this is going to be the theme for the national election now. We have stumbled on a great issue with this parental. See, what they did was they snuck this, what do they call it?
Critical race theory.
Critical race theory. They snuck it into the curriculum all across the country, and the reason they made such progress, and then the design was to create dissension and to create hatred, to create uproar, which is what the Democrats love to do, playing the race card. And nobody knew about it, so they got away with it. Now that people have found out, this wave is the anti-wave is sweeping the country, and that's going to be the theme of the national election now.
Yeah.
It's working now. Wait till the election.
And the radical black activists, they'll quadruple down when that happens, and it'll make it even worse for the Democrats.
And the Democrats are counting on the black vote. They forget Trump did really well in the black vote.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Really well.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's go to the phones. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hey, John.
I want to speak about the white teachers teaching black students. My mother volunteered to teach black elementary school for like 13 years, like third grade.
Mm.
And condition of those kids was usually quite often very, very deprived. And she did her best, and she loved the kids. And 20 years later, I meet some of her students that I didn't know. Are you Mrs. Fleming's son? Yes. I sure am glad I had her as a teacher. And that's just.
Yeah, well, Terry McAuliffe wouldn't like your mom teaching. He said we have too many white teachers, and you know what we have to do about that, he said. I mean, come on. Let me ask you, Steve, do you think, by the way, hey, John, thanks for the call, and your mom, I'm sure, did a lot of good work there. Does it seem to you like Terry McAuliffe's given up, like he's trying to throw this thing? I mean, he's acting nutty.
He's trying to throw it. He doesn't have to throw it. He's going to lose it without throwing it.
Well, he doesn't want to win. At this point, he's given up. He's just given up. It's just hopeless. You know, one thing I've not seen in this entire... Because we've been following this really closely the last 2 weeks, the last week even more. I rarely hear... no one ever refers to him as Governor McAuliffe. He was governor of Virginia before, and I haven't seen one mention of that in any of the campaigning, and I haven't seen one example of anything he did as governor before that is reason to vote for him again. It does, doesn't it? I mean, because usually with something like that, it's Governor McAuliffe, because it gives them some credibility, and no one calls him that.
That he did things
Notable.
Yeah.
Nothing notable. Forgotten governor. Yeah. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Joellen from Fort Lauderdale.
Hey, Joellen. You're on the air.
Okay. I'm trying to get you off of speaker.
Okay. That's all right.
Yeah, I heard that.
Uh-oh. Now we lost you. She hurts that. See, they got to her. They're going after MAGA. All right, Joellen. You get. No. Okay, you're cutting out. I'll give you one more second. You may have to call back, but let's try.
Okay.
We got you now. Let's go.
Okay. So I heard that montage last night from the Jesse Kelly show. Did you ever watch him or watch his podcast or listen to him on the...
Jesse Kelly. I'm not familiar with Jesse Kelly.
Oh, okay. All right. He's very big now. 9 to 12. He took over for Buck Sexton.
Oh.
Yeah. So what did you think about that?
Oh, Buck Sexton dropped out?
No. When he moved to the Rush show. No. He had another show on before he moved to do the Rush thing. Yeah. Well, unfortunately, Joellen, your connection is very poor. But I'll let you call back during the break. If you think it's that good. He replaced Buck Sexton, which, not even knowing the guy, it's got to be an improvement. Because Buck Sexton, that name sounds like a porn star name, doesn't it? Buck. It's a Buck Sexton. He's got sex in it. Buck Sexton. I don't know. Anyway, all right, we'll take our last break, come back with the gold report, and touch on a couple more topics before we end for the day. Our number, toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE, 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. Steve, I'm looking outside. I don't know what it's like in Cooper City right now where you're at, but it's been raining cats and dogs here all morning. It still looks like nighttime outside. And thankfully, you have that new roof from Laporta Contracting.
I gotta tell you, he did a great job.
Yeah, what'd you do with all those buckets you had all over the place that were catching the water dripping?
They're stacked up in the garage now.
Oh my God, you have more buckets. I mean, you could have a garage sale for just buckets. But Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting, though, he wants us to let everyone in the listening audience know this: that no matter where you are in the state of Florida, from the Panhandle to Key West, from the Gulf Coast to the East Coast, Satellite Coast, Space Coast to every other coast, no matter where you are in Florida, Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting can come to you and help you. They do every type of roof too, right? Not just residential like Steve. They do condos, apartment buildings, businesses, warehouses, even churches. He just recently did a church roof somewhere else in Florida. And I see this weather. We're in hurricane season. We're in rainy season. And you want to get that roof taken care of before it gets bad like Steve's and you need a whole new roof. You may just need a simple repair. Oh, what? Did I say is? No, like Steve's was. Yeah, that's correct. No longer. Have you gotten used to not hearing the dripping all day and night? Oh my gosh, Chinese water torture, man. Oh man, when you call Tom Laporta, ask him about the Trump roof. I have one of the tiles here. Tom Laporta actually has the same Spanish roof tiles from Mar-a-Lago. And the Mar-a-Lago tiles are very... It's a Trump roof, right? So everything Trump does is the best. But the Mar-a-Lago tiles that Tom Laporta has, they're a special tile, of course, and they're also in special colors. They're in multiple colors to get that Mar-a-Lago look. Talk to him about turning your roof into a Trump roof, which would have amazing bragging rights. You could sleep under the same roof that President Trump and Melania slept under last night, right up here at Mar-a-Lago down the street. Now, this number rings directly to Tom Laporta's cell phone. Give him a call, 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. Online, LaportaContracting.com. We'll be back right after this.
Craig here. Conservative Doug called me up live on the air to tell me about his experience at Friendly Tire. At Friendly Tire, wow.
Half the price, and not only that, his tires, which nobody, the tires I was looking at, had any mileage guarantee. His is 60,000 mile warranty. So they're not only half the price, they're twice as good.
So you're
repeat customer over there at Friendly Tire. You bought
Steve Kane Show. Joe, hold on. Hey there.
That's right. Listen, give Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire a call. His number, 954-977-9445. He'll give you a quote right over the phone, 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net, or you can just stop right in. The address is listed at stevekaneshow.com. 5415 Northwest 15th Street in Margate, and that's just a little north of Coconut Creek Parkway on the east side of 441 State Road 7. Well, Conservative Doug, thanks so much, and I'm glad you got such a great deal on your tires at Friendly Tire in Margate.
This is Scott from Cut My Kilowatts. Give me a call today to save up to 50% on your insulation and radiant barrier, and up to 35% on your electric bill. That's 954-939-1500. 954-939-1500.
Listen to the Steve Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WW.
All right, we are back. I'm Brian. Steve Kane is here, and it's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated in Boca with the morning's precious metals and gold report. William Youngerman, good morning.
Good morning. How you?
Good. How the metals looking?
Metals looking okay. They ran up nicely yesterday. Gold closed up $9.40 at $1,793.50 again, still just under that $1,800 number. Silver managed to get back over $24 at $24.04. That was up 15 cents. While platinum was up a big $46 on platinum at $1,064, and palladium was up $49 at $1,986. A little bit of a pullback this morning on Contrary Tuesday. We've got gold at $17.92. That's down about $1.50. Silver down 16 cents at $23.85, while platinum is down $14 at $1,050. And palladium's down $20 at $1,966. So again, trading in our ranges, but a little bit of a pullback now.
I was thinking about yesterday. We were talking about holiday shopping, and there's a coin that's out that I was thinking might be a great gift, and I was going to ask you if you think it's a good buy. They have these new 2021 Morgan silver dollars that everyone is talking about right now. And I don't know. Are things like this coins? Are those make great holiday gifts?
A good gifts. Unfortunately, when the new issues come out, they get run up in price pretty quickly, and then they tend to drift lower afterwards. So as an investment, they're not necessarily a great way to go. But as a gift, and they do make beautiful gifts. Right now, they're in short supply, but they'll be available later on, and the markets should come down on.
Oh. So hold off. So you're saying hold off on the 2021 Morgan silver dollar? Oh. Okay, that's some good advice. Have you seen those, Steve? You would love this coin. All right. Well, listen. William Youngerman opens up weekdays at 10 a.m. They're located right here in Boca Raton, 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca, on the first floor of the Bank of America building. Right in the lobby across from the bank. Online, WilliamYoungerman.com, and you can always call them after 10 a.m. And like I just did with William Youngerman, if you have any questions, they'll be happy to help you out. 800-327-5010. 800-327-5010. All right, William Youngerman, we will talk tomorrow. Okay. All right, take care. Oh, man, yeah. I know you're into the silver, Steve. That's why I asked about that silver dollar. All right. We have Joellen back. Okay, Joellen, good morning. Now we can hear you. Now we got you.
Okay, good. Okay, so I was the lady that called in the other day regarding the Tucker Carlson showing his episode documentary.
Yeah, Patriot Purge, which is fantastic.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but anyways, I still think he should be showing that for free, at least for a while, at least for a short period. Especially, since it is so important, especially hearing all these, the blowback, which, you knew was coming. So, that. Mm-hmm. Do you agree? Or?
Well, this Patriot Purge, because last week, I can't remember who it was last week. A lady called, I don't know if it was you or not, Joellen, and was saying, well, if this Patriot Purge is so important, why is it not on the regular Fox? Was it you? Okay. Oh, yeah, that was her. That was you. Okay. Well, I realized after I watched it why. I thought, when I talked to you last week about it, I thought it was because they're just trying to hype the app. And then after I watched part 1, I realized that it is so spot on, it makes it incredibly controversial. I don't think they can put it on the regular Fox News channel. I think I played earlier that montage of the liberal media's reaction before it was even released. They just saw the trailer for it and they were freaking out. Yeah, it is, Steve. The Patriot Purge is so, it's amazing. It gets into things in the Capitol breach that I had never considered, in a way that is just I never even thought about. And I think it's too controversial for the regular Fox News channel. And they would get too much blowback from against their cable outlets and advertisers, and that's why it's on Fox Nation. Not.
They all had one thing in common. They didn't mention a single example. They kept saying how dishonest it was, and they were lying, and they were distorting the truth. They didn't give one example of a lie or anything that was incorrect to illustrate their point.
Yeah, and I think people should get Fox Nation just to see this. It's 3 parts. Part 1 was only 26 minutes. I wish it was an hour and 26 minutes each part, but that was the most powerful 26 minutes I've seen involving any type of news documentary ever. And Tucker Carlson really he really took some risk with this one. I got to tell you, and I'm not just hyping it up. I get nothing out of hyping it up.
You could only see
Steve
one
Kane
episode
Show.
then?
Well, it's one a day. It's one a day. Like, so part 2 is available today.
Okay.
Steve Kane Show.
But I could go back and see part 1 today if I wanted.
Hold on. Yeah. You can see part 1 today, and they'll be up there. They'll be up there for a while. So go and check it out. Hey, listen. Thanks for the call. I appreciate it, Joe Ellen. All right, let's take another call. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Night that he's offering his show for 90 days free, so you could watch it.
You mean you can watch the Patriot Purge? Well, look into that, guys. I'm telling you, look into that. If you can get, even if you have to pay for 1 month, it's worth it. Have you seen it? Well, if you don't have to pay, that's even better because free is good.
90 days, he's letting it be.
Have you seen the first episode yet?
Yeah.
Okay. Am I overhyping it? Tell me what your thoughts were on it.
I mean, everything Tucker does I'm a fan. So, yeah, it's perfect. No,
it's better than good. I mean, if this aired like on network television at 8:00 at night in prime time, the country would be like awakened to something. One thing he did that I thought was amazing is he's got this guy, Steve, who is a retired CIA guy, and what he did for the CIA was disrupt events that the Soviets would put on around the world to get and get them to turn violent so they would get news headlines. And he talked about how he did it, gave examples, and showed the headlines. And then he walked through the Capitol events of that day, explained how this is right out of their playbook, that this is a government psyops operation. And he's only one person he talked to who went through it step by step. And it's not, a lot of people say, well, I already knew it was a setup. Suspecting and then seeing experts come in and explain to you what happened in details that I've never heard before, with a lot of new footage I've never seen, is not something any of you knew before. Hey, listen, appreciate the call. All right, thanks so much. Thanks so much. Good morning. I knew this was Janet Cimarelli from AJ's Natural. I knew it. Wasn't 100% sure, because I took the call random against all our other calls on the line. But it's time for our health report. This is, of course, Janet Cimarelli with AJ's Natural at the Festival Marketplace. What do you have for us today, Janet?
Well, I have lots of information, so many people dealing with pain. And so I was thinking about, sometimes people come into AJ's Natural Wellness Shop for teas. So we have African red tea, rooibos, we have parsley tea, we have chamomile tea. All of those things do very specific beneficial things for the body. And I'm thinking, well, people are going to say, well, why is she talking about tea? Hydration. So many people get tired of drinking water all the time, but they need more and more and more hydration. The dehydration is a contributing cause to their pain. Their joints are dehydrated. Their muscles are dehydrated. So crucially important, hydration. Tired of drinking water? Come on into AJ's and we'll talk to you about a number of different teas that do wonderful things, and you're not dealing with boring water.
Yeah, that can be tough. Now, of course, Janet Cimarelli is a licensed nutrition counselor. And Janet, quickly, because we're running short on time, but can you tell listeners about how you are available to sit down with people on a one-on-one basis and give them some nutritional counseling?
I think you just did that. An office in AJ's Natural Wellness Shop, and I just want to tell people that it's so easy to find us. Walk straight back the main entrance of Festival Marketplace. You're looking at the food court. Turn to the right. You'll see the information.
You can't miss it.
954-317-1851 and make an appointment. That way you don't have to wait. You have
No. Yeah, and when I go to any lab test now of Boca, I get a printout. I either have it emailed to me or I'll get a printout. You can take that to Janet. And today on our radio stations, it's Tuesday, you can listen to Janet Cimarelli's radio show at 10 a.m. on whatever radio station you're listening to us on. So again, it's AJ's Natural in the Festival Marketplace, which is immediately east of the Turnpike on the south side of Sample Road. 954-317-1851. All right, Janet, we'll talk tomorrow. We're all out of time, Steve. We have 10 seconds to say goodbye.
Win in Virginia, which is... Until then, on behalf of Tyler Kane, our technical director, I'm Steve, Brian, my right and left hand. See you tomorrow. God bless America.
Got you covered. AM 1470, FM.
That was longer than 10 seconds.
96.9.
All right, guys.
Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
All right, I got to run, but look out for my podcast. I have an interview schedule, pretty big interview schedule today. I haven't done it yet. I got to do it later this morning. And hopefully that'll be on today's podcast. But like the video, subscribe, click that notification bell. Thanks for watching. And everyone who gave Super Chats today, thank you so much for that too. All right, guys, take care. I'll see you all later.